Hello, everybody, and welcome to the United Stand. We're back with a match. It seems like a very long time. We've had dressing room fallouts. We've had Lou Macari losing his shit. Lou Macari losing his shit. That works. And, of course, we've got the FA Cup, Manchester United against Aston Villa. The team news is out. It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest with you. It is a little bit of a mixed bag. No Maguire, which I think is a good thing. No Ronaldo, which I find a bit of a weird thing. And Donny van der Beek's on the bench for McTominay and Fred again. So the team that we have, and I presume that it is pretty accurate, the team that we've got is De Gea in goal. Henderson is apparently going to leave, according to Samuel Luckhurst. This has come out in the last couple of minutes. So we'll await the official lineup, which should be coming out at 5-2, which is about 8 minutes to go. But the team that we have is De Gea in goal, tick. Dalot at right back, tick. Varane and Lindelof, tick, tick. Luke Shaw at left back. Could have been Telles, but okay. Then you've got McTominay and Fred. Look, I don't get it. I mean, McTominay was trash against Wolves and starts again. Fred's been dropped for being trash and comes back into the team. At some point, you've just got to let Donny van der Beek go. That's what I'm saying. I can't moan about Donny, justice for Donny. That's, we're long past that. But how can you drop Fred because he's shit and then give him another chance and not drop McTominay for being shit and just not give Donny van der Beek a game in the FA Cup? I just don't get it, especially when McTominay's got a yellow card, can't play against Villa. Like, it would have been the perfect game to play Donny van der Beek, but no, not playing him. Then I think it's Greenwood and Bruno. Tick. I was happy with Greenwood. I thought he got subbed too early in the last game, and I think Bruno needs to start. Cavani and Rashford. Well, again, I would question why Rashford's being picked, especially in a front two, if we're playing a 4-2-2. But yeah, so I think it's certainly not a team where I go player powers won, but it's, again, I just think there's a couple of question marks that have to be there, especially when you look at the fact that Telles and McTominay, Shaw and McTominay can't play against Villa on Saturday. So you're telling me you're just going to chuck Telles in at the deep end? He's not played for a few games. Surely Monday night, Saturday, you play the players that are going to play on Saturday that need to play. So I wouldn't have played Shaw because I like Shaw and I prefer Shaw to Telles, but Shaw can't play on Saturday. So maybe playing Telles against the team he's going to play on Saturday would have been a better idea. But look, let's go, Mark. Can't for McFred's back and side pass masterclass today. Already lost the midfield battle. Not looking forward to this. Could be a long night. Well, we haven't already lost the midfield battle, JRB. That hasn't actually happened yet. But what has happened is that we, as in most games, we're giving the opportunity to the opposition to look at that midfield and say we can win that battle. So McTominay's not suspended tonight, and neither is Luke Shaw, but they are suspended against Villa in the Premier League for accumulation of yellow cards. So neither of them can actually play. Let Donny go now, says Sean Turner. I hope he puts in a transfer request and kicks up a fuss. They're killing his career. Terrible players are getting multiple chances. Look, we've got to see a response tonight. We've got to see a result tonight. It's interesting because there's not really any leaders on the pitch. No Ronaldo. Maguire is the captain. So you're looking to people like Bruno. Maybe that's why he's picked McTominay. I don't know. I worry about us tonight. But then again, maybe we'll be fine. Like, hopefully we will be fine. We need to win the game. In relation to Donny van der Beek, I'm not, I know some of you are like justice for Donny, this, that, and the other, but I'm not that. That's not what I am. I'm just at the point now where I'm fed up of every game going, oh, Donny's on the bench. Donny's on the bench. I really expected him to start tonight, and he hasn't. So I agree with Sean. I tweeted it myself. Just let him go. His career is dead. Like, forget what you think as an individual. He's a footballer. He's living it. His career is dead, and United have killed it. Just let him go. And if he's gone, we can't say Donny needs to start today. We can't say it if he's not here. He clearly doesn't want to use him. Just let him go. And that's all I'm going to say now. I can't be bothered with the whole give him a chance. I mean, the chances just clearly aren't going to get given. If Maguire is benched, then this is huge, says Dan. And I don't think Maguire and Ronaldo are even part of the squad. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's even part of the squad. Please do, if you want to do super chats, we can read those out for you. And make sure you smash a like on the video. It's a 5 to 8 kickoff. So team news should be coming out very, very soon officially. But as we understand it, I don't know whether we've got it on the screen. Yes, we have. That is the team on the screen: De Gea, Delot, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred and McTominay, Bruno and Greenwood, Rashford and Cavani. I don't know why Ronaldo's not playing today. I've got no idea why he's not playing today. I personally think he should be playing. This lineup gives Alexa play James Arthur vibes, says Will Shitty. Yeah. Stop playing James Arthur, Alexa. Bloody hell. If you don't know, if you haven't watched the latest game for Goldbridge, basically, my sister at Christmas we was at her house for Christmas, and she thought nobody was noticing it, but basically we'd be saying, Alexa, play "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree" by Mal and Kim, or play Slade. And then when she thought no one was noticing, she'd go, Alexa, play James Arthur's latest song. I mean, you don't want James Arthur's latest song at Christmas. I like James Arthur. He's a nice guy. He's into his football, but even he would admit he's not really upbeat Christmas song. Fred and Matic on Saturday then, says Rory Saunders. It certainly would look like that. What's your score prediction? I'm going 3-2 to United. We're too poor defensively and the players look like they don't want to play, says Niall. And hi, Mark. Do you know what's happened with Ronaldo? Why isn't he starting? And do you think he can win tonight? Hope Varane has a good game as well, says Josh. I'm quite confused as to how this is going to work tonight, if I'm honest with you, because when you think about it, Ronaldo surely will start on Saturday, which means surely Maguire comes back into the team on Saturday. I would like Phil Jones, I thought, would start tonight, but what does that mean for Phil? What does it mean for Phil Jones? One good game as a man of the match, and then he's not starting again. So there's a few questions. It's quite interesting. When we play with McFred and Maguire is like we are playing 8 men. I wouldn't mind McTominay, but I don't really see no potential in him. Says Marcelino. Mark, I'm outraged. Which player in history has been treated like this? Feel for Donny. Only players that want to leave should be treated like this, not Donny who wants to play and do well. Call the police, says Andrew Chow. Call the police, Donny. Call the police. Portuguese Power. How is it possible Fred, McTominay, Rashford get the nod, but Donny van de Beek doesn't? What the hell is going on? Says Portuguese Power. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This team could easily get beat, says FWE. I don't know where are these coming in from, Drawty? Are these tweets that you're pulling up on the screen, or? Hashtag TUS opinion on Twitter, and we will pull some of those up for you and put them up on the screen. So make sure you that's where we're getting them from. We wait to see what's on the bench. My general thoughts about this team, and we think this is the team, but my general thoughts about the team are that it's got good and bad points. I actually am quite excited to see Delot at right back with Victor Lindelof and Varane. I like that back five, actually. I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I wouldn't mind if that was our back five. I'm going for a comfortable win for Villa tonight, says Sean Turner. Well, maybe the back five will be different, but I actually do like that back five. I'd be interested to see what many of you think about it, because I do like the back five. Obviously, I don't like the midfield. I'm not an idiot. I don't like that. I'm getting frustrated. What does Donny have to do to get more game time, says Deanne. And Rashford, you need drops. How is he still finding his way into the team, says Jack. I suppose in relation to Rashford, he may well be in the team because if Ronaldo's being rested or whatever's going on with Ronaldo, who's your other striker? Cavani, Martial is obviously going to get sold. I think Rashford's almost getting picked by default here. He's probably very lucky that we really don't have anybody else who can play if Ronaldo's not there. Has anyone stopped to think Donny might be a player who's caused disruption and that's why he's not playing? Can't just be the players people don't like, says Green Grits. And, well, you might be onto something there, but I wouldn't blame him for being pissed off anyway. I mean, Donny van de Beek having a moan in the dressing room is probably justifiable. I mean, it would be a bit harsh to say, I was going to pick you against Villa, but you've moaned about not being picked in any other game. It would be, I think he'd probably justifiably be moaning, but that's not what I was told was the issue in relation to Donny van de Beek and what was going on. The lineup is now officially out, and I presume that we have got the team that we thought it was going to be. So yes, it is De Gea, Delot, Luke Shaw, Lindelof and Varane, McTominay and Fred. Bruno is the captain with Bruno and Greenwood, and then Cavani and Rashford. The bench doesn't include Ronaldo, doesn't include Maguire, and doesn't include Henderson. So it's Heaton, Tellez, Wan-Bissaka, Ahmad, Lingard, Mata, Matic, Van der Beek, and Alanga. I mean, it's not a very good bench, to be honest. It isn't a good bench, is it? But you know what? In relation to Donny, maybe they are absolutely convinced, even though Donny van der Beek's best games have been in the McTominay role, i.e. the last 45 minutes against Watford, maybe Ranić thinks that is that his best position is a number 10. But then there's contradiction in that. You know what? I'll openly say I'm sorry. I would openly say that I am clutching at straws here, because the reality is, if Ralph Rangnick thinks he's not picking Donny van der Beek because he thinks he's more of a holding midfielder, more of he plays in the Bruno role. Why did Donny not start when Bruno was suspended? So he just doesn't fancy him, does he? Let's be honest, he just doesn't fancy him, and therefore I'm at the opinion now, where I've been for quite a while, just drop him. Just drop him. Luke Shaw's starting, so he obviously leaked the team to Mark. I mean, I did know this team a long time before everybody else did, but not because of Luke Shaw. Something's gone off my screen, Drawley. It's back now. Okay. All right. Nick says, no Sancho. We've got some gremlins in the system. We call them McTominay and Fred. So you might get a few issues on the screen for the moment, but I'm not going anywhere. That's the main thing. And it is live, of course. We know these things can happen. Rashford starts, laugh my arse off, says get Gucci. Well, look, you know what? We could well win the game tonight. I want to talk to you about Villa's team in a moment, and we're going to get Levin on in about 20 minutes' time. But I don't actually... It's not a team where I look at it and go, that's a dreadful 11. As I said, I like the back five, but I do not like the midfield, and I don't really like the fact that we don't have Cristiano Ronaldo playing. What's Aston Villa's bloody Twitter? Oh, here we go. I found it now. It's AVFFC. So let's have a look at the Villa side, just to see how seriously Steven Gerrard's taken it. So Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, Mings, Targay, McGinn, Lewis, Ramsey, Bendia, Ings, Watkins. That's the strongest team you can put out, basically. So Villa are putting out the strongest team. Yeah, it's going to be. It's going in a way that makes me even more excited. Some people would say bye cup, but we need to react tonight, and if we win tonight, it's got to be applauded, because that's Villa's strongest team, and it's Gerrard at Old Trafford, and he'll want a result. And they'll certainly look at United's team and they'll go, you know what, we quite fancy our chances here. Hi, Mark, it's my birthday today. Hopefully the lads can give us a good performance in a win. Hashtag free Donny, says Sadiq. And we're in trouble tonight, Mark. The dreaded G of McFred is back. I mean, Malps, maybe this is going to be a game where they play well. But I certainly don't think that McGinn and Luis are really going to be that bothered. I do wonder what our team's going to line up, whether it's going to be a 4-2-2-2 or whether it will be a 4-2-3-1. What's your opinion on the draw against Middlesbrough, says Kaylin? Mate, I don't know why, and I'm not going to answer this, and I'm not being rude, but I've got no interest in the Middlesbrough draw, because it's just massively disrespectful to talk about it when we're playing Villa tonight. You know, it may as well be bloody Barcelona in the next round. We're not through. We're not through, and until we're through, I'm not going to think about Middlesbrough. But it's a good draw for whoever gets through, because it's another home tie for United if they get through. Free Donny, this is a disgrace. Rashford out, Ranić out, says United's call. And if he insists on playing McFred, why not keep Rashford out and play Greenwood up front instead of shoehorning him in as a cam? Donny van der Beek could play cam, says B. Yakov. I mean, that's why I sort of corrected myself. You make a very good point to some people who may not have thought that through. This is not just about match photo on our Twitter is Jones and Henderson, says Alex Prentice. So, yeah, when you think about the Donny van der Beek situation, if you want to, it's not just that he's not playing where McTominay and Fred are playing, which is where I would like to see him play. But you could also have just played him in next to Bruno and put Greenwood up front and not played Rashford, who I don't think deserves to start. I'd much rather have seen Greenwood up front today. But Rashford's lucky to play. Um, it is what it is, you know. And I think I've said this many times about Marcus Rashford. Let's hope he starts playing well because he's never going anywhere. Like I don't think the club would ever sell Rashford anyway. So we need him to start performing starting tonight. What minute are United getting their penalty then? I'm saying 67th minute, hoping for a good game up the Villa, says Alex Byrne. There is no difference between Ollie and Ralph in the team selections. I know it's early, but Ralph is not the answer to Manchester United's success, says Lindy St. Clair. Looks like we've set up to press high with our fullbacks, providing width. Maguire is with the squad, by the way, just not on the bench, says Dan. And if he insists on playing Fred, yeah, we've done that one. I don't know whether anybody knows anything about why Cristiano Ronaldo is not in the squad today. I mean, I can't for the life of me understand that Cristiano Ronaldo would want 2 weeks off from playing football. His last game was a week ago. And he is now not on the bench tonight. So his next game, if he does play, would be next Saturday. And he's not involved. He's not involved tonight. So I don't know whether we can find out what the situation is. I'm just having a quick look around for any early quotes from Ranić. I'm sure there will be some coming out soon. But it's always, I think it's a disappointment for anybody who's watching it on the BBC tonight, or, everyone wants to see Cristiano Ronaldo playing. But just a little bit of breaking news that's off anybody who's involved the team tonight. This is coming from Samuel Luckhurst. Dean Henderson's absence for tonight's match is understood to be related to his future, and his efforts are continuing to secure him a loan move. Dean Henderson's been cast as somebody who's not unhappy for a very long time. And I think that, at the end of the day, it's probably best for him to move on. And I hope that he does get a move soon, because I think he's a good goalkeeper, but we've got one of the world's best goalkeepers at the moment. So it does make sense. And Heaton was surely brought in to be that reserve goalkeeper, I think, anyway. Missing Ronaldo. Coutinho's going to score tonight. He'll have a job because he's not even on the bench, is he? As far as I remember. And Van der Beek still doesn't start, says Itora. And weird shit's going on my screen at the moment. Okay. Noah says, I'm truly lost on what people see in McTominay. I see a championship player and someone whose first name on the team sheet, the club is doomed, says Noah. I'm truly disappointed in Ranić and his team selection, says Gergo, not even trying to give a chance to other players, just the same failed ones. And I can predict tonight a cagey start. One of McFred misplaces a pass and Scene suddenly crap themselves when they hide behind the sofa for 60 minutes. That's from Nick P. You know what? I might stun a few people here, but I'm not actually as pissed off as I think some of you are. I mean, I think if that's Ollie tonight, Wan-Bissaka's playing at right back. He's rushing Maguire back to play next to Varane. And, so there's two things that I'm quite excited about tonight. Delo at right back and Lindelof in next to Varane. I feel a little bit sorry for Phil Jones, but I don't think Phil Jones is on the bench, is he? I might be completely wrong about that. Let me just double check. I don't think Phil Jones is actually on the bench. Then again, maybe he is, because we don't actually have No, he's not on the bench. So Phil Jones isn't on the bench. So we don't actually have a centre-back on the bench. So I don't know. There's a few things that are a little bit weird about this tonight. And it's sort of compounded by the fact that Villa have gone with their strongest team, and we've made some changes that look like if this goes badly, we're going out. And what I mean by that is, I've got no problem with Ronaldo maybe not starting, but why would you not put him on the bench? No Ronaldo and no Donny, still no Maguire. Hope we win, says Hem. And Wrexham are on the way up to the EFL. Watch out, says Jacob. And I can predict, so I think it will be a cagey game, by the way, Nick P. I think you're right about that. Kickoffs at 5 to 8. And are you happy with Maguire not playing, says Fedger? I think he will start against Villa on Saturday. And I think it's because he's not fully fit back. I imagine Phil Jones must have an injury. I mean, I didn't want to say it because it's like the most, it's like night follows day. Phil Jones has a good game and then he's injured. I suspect he has to be injured. You don't play your first game in 10 years and then get rested for a league game. He would need to follow that. He's probably still sore, actually. When you go down the gym and you've not done any weightlifting for about a year and you get like really, you only do 2 press-ups and then your arms are killing for the next week. Maybe that's what's happened to Phil Jones. It's been so long since he's played a game. He's still sore from a week ago. But I guarantee he must have an injury or a knock, because otherwise, why would he not be involved? Ethan says, I got a season ticket and United sent my ticket to someone else's email and I rang and they can't resend it and said I have to miss the game. Club's a joke, says Ethan James. Has anyone got Ralph's number? I need to ask what this McFred obsession is about. I'm starting to lose sleep over it. It's killing me now, says Sean Turner. Look, you know what? I have to be very careful here, because I realise a lot of people seem to think I've got it in for Darren Fletcher and Mike Phelan. You'd be bloody right. No, I think they have an influence on the team. Why would they not have an influence on the team? Mike Phelan stood in the same position he was stood with Ollie, and Darren Fletcher stands in the technical area. That's the only real reason I can understand why a manager who's got no attachment to the club comes in and picks the same midfield that's been the massive problem this season. Our problem this season has been the midfield. We don't get enough chances for our forwards. We don't protect our defence well enough. McTominay and Fred were Ollie's first choice midfield for most of the season. They're now the next manager's new midfield. So look, for me, there are, it's logical that you would try and find different combinations to sort your midfield out, and yet we're still picking the same one. So I think it has to be apportioned in part to the fact that we've still got similar coaches than what we had before. And maybe they're saying that's the best midfield. Man United will be relegated before we win another title. I will debate this with anyone, says Noah. Not even mad anymore, just deeply sad. Well, look, let's see how we get on. As I said, I'm quite happy with the back 5, including the keeper, of course. I'm happy with Bruno and Greenwood. I like it when Cavani plays. I think I would rather Rashford was on the bench, Green was up front, and then put Donny or Lingard with Bruno if we're playing a 4-2-2. But maybe we're going to play wide players again. Maybe Greenwood's going to play off the right, Rashford off the left, Cavani through the middle on his own. I don't think we'll play a 4-2-2 today. How many subs are allowed today, says Shisha? I think in the cup it is 5, but I'm not sure. Sancho's not even on the bench either, says Jeffrey. Yeah, there is some weird ones. I can't give you the answers and I can't give you why. But I don't understand how we played a week ago. Ronaldo and Sancho have been training and neither of them are on the bench today. I mean, imagine if we're losing. And look, this better not happen. But imagine if this team performs shit, right? And we're 3-0 down at half-time or 2-0 down at half-time. And there's a chance you can get back into the game, but you need to make subs, right? I look at the bench and I think attacking-wise, you've got Alanga, Donny, Mata and Lingard. Like, there's not really any attacking subs there that you can trust. So why would you not have Sancho and Ronaldo on the bench? Have we got another COVID issue? I mean, that could still be a problem. I don't know. Maybe they've tested positive for COVID. I don't know. Hope Delo and Shaw, because you can be vaccinated and test positive for COVID. So, maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Hope Delo and Shaw can put some crosses in for Cavani, says Paras. I'm sure Ronaldo would have loved to play tonight as well, because Delo does put decent crosses in. McFred is the nightmare that never goes away. It's truly terrifying that get picked most of the time. Look, I hope they play well tonight. Really hope that McTominay and Fred play well tonight. Sometimes they do, but if we don't buy a midfielder, we're not going to win anything this season. We won't get top 4 with those two, I'm afraid. Any reason why Henderson isn't even on the bench? Casual gamer, according to Samuel Luckhurst, it's because he's trying to move. Honestly speaking, why did we get rid of Ollie? This guy's literally Ollie with all his team selections, minus the players loving him, says Mohammed. Well, no, I think Delo starting is something that Ollie wouldn't do. But the biggest way he can be different to Ollie is to play a different brand of football. I think it's going to be a difficult game tonight. It would be difficult if Donny was playing, if Ronaldo was playing, if Sancho was playing. It would still be a very difficult game. Let's not forget, Villa have put out their strongest team. McTominay's like the Sunday League manager's son that's dreadful but plays for every week because it's his son, says John. That same failed midfield that's been used over and over again. That's why even when there's positive changes, I'm annoyed, different but the same. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody can go and do a bit of homework here, but I'm pretty sure that when Villa beat us at Old Trafford back in, was it September or October, we played McTominay and Fred. Watching from Fuerteventura and agree with what you say, Mark. Weird team choices, no options on the bench, and Donny needs to go to save his career. I'm looking forward to see what Rangnick's going to say about why Ronaldo's not on the bench, why Sancho's not on the bench, because it strikes me that, look, I hope we're going to win. I hope we're going to play well. But it wouldn't surprise me if we don't play well. You look towards the bench and there's nothing there. The fact we are seeing Ranić make the same decisions as Ollie proves that it's not him who is making the decisions, but others, says MUN Red. So, yes, strong Aston Villa side, basically their strongest side. Mings and Konza, Martinez in goal, Cash and Targay as the fullbacks, Ramsey, McGinn and Luis as their three in midfield, and then Ings, Watkins and Bendia. Okay, so here we go from Ranić straight away. Ranić on the players missing tonight. I wouldn't say that they are injured, but they are having muscular problems. So that would be Ronaldo, Sancho, Jones, and potentially Harry Maguire. So, you know, that's fine. He says, I spoke with Cristiano yesterday before training. He told me that he had some problems for the last couple of days, some minor problems. In the end, we decided not to take any risks in a cup game that could easily last 120 minutes. So, yeah, look, Ronaldo not playing because he's of a knock. Fair enough. So it's best not to risk them. So, you know, it's not always doom and gloom, is it? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean, I mean, look, the Donny thing I can't argue about. He should be starting, but it's not always doom and gloom. And I think I wouldn't risk Ronaldo either in those situations. So, yeah, Sancho, Ronaldo, Phil Jones have obviously all got knocks. I mean, Phil Jones and Ranić said in relation to Phil Jones, he's having minor problems on the calf. What can you say? What can you say? I mean, Phil Jones is Phil Jones, and at the end of the day, he puts in a good performance. You hope he's going to follow it up, and he gets injured. So, what can you do? What can you do? It's one of those, and so Phil Jones apparently has got a calf problem. Sancho's got a tightness in his hamstrings, and that's from Ralph Ranić. And Cristiano Ronaldo's feeling a bit of something as well. So hamstrings, both hamstrings are a bit of an issue for Sancho, according to Ralph Ranić as well. So yeah, at least we've got a bit of an explanation as to why certain players aren't involved. So, you know, Ronaldo, Sancho, Jones, they're not involved because of injuries. Conte doesn't start 50 million Lo Celso and 50 million Dembele, but when Ollie or Ranić benches Van de Beek, they get abused for it. It's time we stop scapegoating the manager, says Rash. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Lo Celso and Dembele have had probably 10 times the Premier League minutes Donny's had. So not quite the same, I don't think. Jason Walters says, it's obvious to me they bullied Van der Beek in training and send false messages they're better. It's also obvious Fletcher will decide with the board if Ranić gets the job, says Jason Walters. Well, I've never thought of that before. So fair play for like throwing in a theory. Darren Fletcher's the technical director. And he will have a decision on whether Ranić gets the job full time. And yet he's coaching the team in his technical area. It's almost like if you know the person who's going to give you the job is coaching the team with you and they say, pick this, are you going to go, what do you know? I'm picking my own team. Yeah, you're not getting the job. So there is a bit of a, again, the mainstream press won't pick up on this, but I think it's an interesting point. Darren Fletcher is the kingmaker with Murta. So what a stupid position to put Ralph Ranić in, whereby his assistant coach is actually his boss in many ways. It annoys me so much that old coaches are still there. They're clearly a big part of the problem, says Yakov. If we play well and win, there's going to be overreaction. People saying sell Ronaldo. Hey, mate, let him do it. Ronaldo walks straight back into that team, surely, Carter. And yes, Ralph didn't say anything about Maguire. Does that mean he dropped him for right reasons? I don't think Maguire, Sarvesh, is actually meant to be back for this game anyway. So I wouldn't really have too much to say on that. Have we got super chats? No. Okay. So yeah, hashtag ask TUS, I think it is. You can TUS opinion, if you want to get your tweets on the screen like Gavin Wood has there. He says, Big Ralph hasn't had any signings yet, likely still getting to grips with the strengths of the players. The midfield is the issue, but I'm a positive mood and think we'll put a statement out tonight. I hope so. I hope so, Gavin. Let's have a bit of positivity. I'm full for Ralph and behind him 100%, but I can't help but point out the irony. Danny van der Beek got more minutes under Ollie, says Dowell. And McTominay and Fred again, says United we fight. And seeing this lineup now, it's absolutely nailed on that player power has poisoned this club. I'm sorry, Mark. I had major doubts about Ralph Rangnick. Daniel, I stick firmly behind Ralph Rangnick and not to stab him in the back. I'm behind him. No, I'm not behind him. In figuratively speaking, I'm beside him. You know, I think I still think he's the right manager, but I do think politically, as has been said many times before, there is an issue at Manchester United. When will Pogba be back, says Marcus, in about a month's time? And if you don't want to play Donny, why don't you sell him and let him go and make something out of his career, says Connor, interestingly. Hashtag TUS opinions. But I think, you know, as the person said a few minutes ago, very interesting comment about how, you know, Darren Fletcher and John Murtagh will decide who the next manager is. And yet Darren Fletcher is on the training ground and in the technical area. I'd say it again. I think sometimes the press and so-called experts go focusing on the wrong thing. Oh, should Henderson be the goalkeeper? Or is Ronaldo pressing enough? And, you know, they don't actually think, well, hold on a minute. Darren Fletcher's going to decide whether Ralph Rangnick gets the job. And he's actually his assistant coach. Like, how does that work? You can't have an assistant coach who's basically going to tell you whether you're going to get the job or not. And therefore, you know, you're going to listen to Fletcher, aren't you? Go, great idea, Darren. Great idea. Remember me for the job. So it's all a bit of a mess, isn't it? And it's very hard to understand what's going on. I just hope that Rangnick is in charge and can do what he wants to do. I really can't stand seeing McFred in the lineup, says Ken. I mean, I don't mind. I wouldn't have minded seeing Fred and Donny tonight. That was the midfield two I wanted to see. But again, $100 says Greenwood is the first one subbed off, as always, says David Briscoe. This is our best back four. Looking forward to seeing them play higher up the pitch, says Paris. I actually, I hate to say it because I like goals more than clean sheets, but the one thing I'm very happy about that team is the back five. Why are we giving a guy like Fletcher so much power? He's been at Stoke, says NYYK. But yeah, I do like the back five. And to be fair, the front four, Greenwood, Bruno, Cavani and Rashford, because Sancho and Ronaldo are out injured, there's not really anything else you could do. Personally, I would have put Greenwood up front with Cavani and played Donny behind Bruno, but we don't know whether it's a 4-2-2-2. If it's a 4-2-3-1, then Greenwood off the right and Rashford off the left makes sense. I think the lack of ins and outs this January is because United want the new manager to assess everyone, all Arnold and Glazers, not Fletcher, says Sean Turner. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Motion says, people love to find anything to moan about. This team is progress. Other than McTominay and Rashford, I probably agree with most of the team. Yeah, I actually agree with you on that one. I mean, I don't like it when people say moan about things, that and the other, because one person's valid opinion is somebody else's disagreement. So I don't like it when people say moaning, because that's offensive to the person who's having the opinion. It's dismissive, and I don't think you need to be that, derogatory about somebody's opinion who's not happy with the team. But where I would agree with you 100%, and I think I tweeted it, that team for me on my left is one player away from being a team that I'd be really excited about. I agree with De Gea. I agree with Varane and Lindelof. I actually think Varane and Lindelof is better than Varane and Jones, because if Jones gets injured, Maguire comes back in. But if Varane and Lindelof play well tonight, stick with it. And so I'm excited by that. Again, if Dalot plays well tonight, stick with it. Luke Shaw can't play at the weekend, obviously, because he's suspended. I'm got no problems with the front four because of the injuries we've got. You stick Donny in for Scott McTominay. I'm very excited with that team, basically. And I'll repeat what I said. Some of you probably tuned in a bit later. The thing that really confuses me tonight is that, and it probably will be Matic and Fred in the midfield against Villa, because if it was going to be Donny against Villa, you would play him tonight. And the reason I'm talking about Villa at the weekend is because McTominay and Shaw are suspended for the game against Villa at the weekend. So I would have played Telles tonight, because Telles hasn't played for a while, and we're playing Villa next weekend. So it's just totally logical to think about the big 3 points at the weekend and put Telles in tonight, so that he's used to playing Villa and he's a bit match sharp. So I would have played Telles tonight, 100%. And I would have played the midfielders that are going to play at the weekend. So McTominay and Shaw would have been on the bench for me. And I would have played the midfield two that's going to play at the weekend. And I would have played Telles because it's a big game at the weekend. And whoever's going to play in the midfield next to Fred and whoever's going to play at left back, which will be Telles, they're not starting. So they've got every right to say, I was rusty. So I'm surprised by that. I think that was that. Congratulations on 1.25 million subs. Thank you, Osan. I think this is the last time we see Maguire and Ronaldo. Rangnick not taking any nonsense like Arteta, says 58 go. Ronaldo's injured, mate. My heart actually, and Maguire will walk straight back into the team as well. So I think you're wrong on both of those. My heart actually breaks for Donny at this point. Nice guys, finish last. It's about time he kicks up a fuss, says Joshua Bowater. Exactly. As long as Fletcher is on the sideline, McTominay will always start, says Oz. Anyone know? Well, look, forget about Fletcher. Forget about McTominay. Let's. I think we all make a mistake as any fan to just look short term, and let's look at the bigger picture. It's now nearly the middle of January, and the season started in the middle of August. Why are we not having a good season? Why are we not in a title race? Why are we not one of the favourites for the Champions League? And why are we worried about playing Aston Villa at home in the third round of the FA Cup? And when you take it all into account, it's because our midfield has been crap all season. So don't need to name names. We know who's played in the midfield, but our problem is the midfield. So saying Fletcher's picking McTominay or whatever, that's very, that's about tonight. But let's look at the last 20, 25 games. Our problem this season is the midfield. Do you think the players revolting and playing poorly will undermine Rangnick's future work as a consultant? Says Spencer. Maybe. Anyone know why Ronaldo isn't even in the squad? And can we stop talking about Donny? It's clear that he's part of Man United's present or future, isn't part of it. Injuries to Sancho, injuries to Ronaldo, injuries to Phil Jones. That's why they're not involved. The Joker, thank you very much for the super chat. Roma says, watch. We will get smashed in midfield. Play Donny van der Beek, please, says Roma. And hi, Mark. Can't get justification for using same midfield again and again when it was beaten against Villa, by the way. Good video on Zakaria. I hope we get him, says United Voice. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. You're all very, very welcome. We are kicking off in half an hour. It's a 5 to 8 kickoff. So Cristiano Ronaldo has a hip problem. So, look, injuries happen. Yeah, as Dorothy just said, he's getting old. Hip problems do happen with the elderly, but he's not playing tonight. And it's interesting there. Vintage United on Twitter's just said injuries could stack up quite quickly. McTominay, Fred, and Matic, if they pick up injuries, then are we going to start playing Darren Fletcher in the midfield? And it's a fair point. It's not just about lack of ability. Even if you are somebody that likes McTominay and Fred, the reality is it's not just about lack of ability. It's also about lack of options. And if any of them get injured, we are in big trouble. Big trouble. Good question here. Do you think that Varane and Lindelof could become the Manchester United starting centre-backs? I think in any other club, yes, but probably not at Manchester United, because I think we've, for that. And look, hopefully that can happen. But when you look at the evidence of the football club, look at the midfield again tonight, we've got a real problem in removing people who deserve to be removed and staying consistent to people who are not good enough. So I think Maguire will walk straight back into this team when he's fit. And anybody who disagrees with that, no matter how good Varane and Lindelof play, I think Maguire walks straight back into that team and the evidence is there. Rashford's back up front tonight. McTominay and Fred are back in the midfield. And all three of those players have been really poor this season. So the evidence is Maguire walks straight back in as well. I'd like to be wrong, but I think, the evidence is there that we are going to keep picking these players. Luke Shaw leaking to Mark that he's suspended, says Darren. How can Fletcher be impartial when he's influencing screwing with the team? He cannot have a say in the new manager. I have a better CV, says Andy. Hope Donny would get his chance today. His position and forward passing is far better than McFred, says Khalid. It's about time Donny pulls an Antonio Brown, waits to get subbed in the 87th minute. Instead of going on the pitch, he takes off his jersey, kisses the badge and walks out through the tunnel, says Kevin. Would rather start. I think Donny van de Beek does need to, start kicking up a fuss. I do agree with that. It's not about United now. He doesn't need to be loyal to the Man United fans. He doesn't play. He's got to be loyal to his own career. Would rather start feeling than McTominay in midfield, says Harry. You'd have to wonder if there is actually a problem with Van der Beek, given that he never gets a chance. I can't understand it, says Kieran. It's my mate's birthday today. Could you say happy birthday, Ian Linden, you Porto Pratt, says Brian Moore. And can we read anything into the players missing on what has happened over the past week? This will only fuel the people that think Ronaldo is the problem. No, well, you can if you're a conspiracist, Aaron. But the reality is the manager's come out and said that Sancho and Ronaldo and Phil Jones have got injuries. So if you start saying Ronaldo's out because he's been dropped, then Phil Jones is out because he's been dropped. Nkri says Matic and Telles for sure, and McTominay would have made more sense. Also, Donny should start next to Bruno and Greenwood up top. That would have been nice. I agree with you. I do agree with you on that one. Getting loads of tweets on the screen. Jack says, I'm gutted that Phil is injured. Looked incredible against Wolves. Also sad for Donny. Leads to move on. Don't understand why he isn't getting a game time. Never gets a chance. What I was told about Donny van der Beek is that the reason Rangnick wants to keep him is because if he gets injuries, he's got someone that could play. Which just seems unfair, isn't it? I actually, I was listening to a podcast today. I think it was the Manchester is Red podcast, and they described it quite well. And what they basically said is Manchester United are like a spoiled child with loads of toys that they don't need. But when someone else comes to play with those toys, they're like, no, they're mine. But then they don't play with the toy when that other person leaves. And I think that's a very true explanation. I think with Donny van der Beek, they don't want to play him, but they don't want to let him go either when someone else wants him. So yeah, we've got the squad's too big basically, and I think they're keeping it big in case they get injuries. But it's interesting. Hi, Mark. Could you wish my dad Steve a happy birthday? Says Rory Newson. Happy birthday to Steve. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will be saying that as well. Would you rather Bruno not start at all in this 4-2-2 if he hasn't had the same impact on games as he has in a 4-2-3-1, says Tom Lee. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I think we will be playing a 4-2-3-1 today. I do. Technically, a small improvement under previous regime. We'd find out about injuries after trash performances and a missed game turns into a month out, says Brandon. Score predictions, everybody. A lot of people saying happy birthday, Steve, which is nice. I just think it'll be. I'm not going to change my score prediction from the preview. I think it's going to be a tight affair, and I think that it will be 1-0. 1-0 to United, something like that. 1-0, 2-1, something like that. I think it will be something like that. United is like Hotel California at this point. You can check out any time, but you can never leave. We never let anyone go, says Lee. And the only hope I have for Van der Beek is that McTominay is suspended for the next league game. He is. I think he's being ironic. Pratik. Sorry, not Pratik. Rangnick. This is from Nkiri. He says, Rangnick features high-pressing football, but McTominay has the on-the-ball agility of a paralysed snail. Must be Fletcher in his ear to start him. And the club must have made clear to Rangnick that McTominay and Maguire must play every game because we're a Brexit club, says Zane Casey. Well, you know what? We were talking about it last night, weren't we? We were talking about it last night, weren't we? We were talking about it last night. Somebody messaged me a couple of days ago and they said, I'd love Rangnick to pick a team that was basically non-Brexit. So basically, you'd put De Gea in goal, Delot, Varane, Lindelof, Telles, Donny and Fred, Bruno at 10, Martial on the left. I can't remember who you said on the right. Was it Ahmad or was it Cavani? And then Ronaldo up front. All foreign team, basically. Which I don't think we need to do, but we're not Arsene Wenger. Mark, I tested positive for COVID today, but after seeing McFred starting again, I think the worst result of the day is yet to come. Matthew, oh, you made me laugh. I hope you don't get too bad with your COVID symptoms. By the way, Levin's here. Yeah, I can hear him. Well, I'm not in control of the camera, the production, so I might be chatting away to Levin and no one else can hear this. So yeah. I'll just read a super chat while we wait for Levin. Fletcher is Scottish. That's why he's starting the McTominay in every match as United voice. And he can give best press conferences and show how clever he is, then picks McFred game after game and lets opponents run the midfield. Pathetic. Okay, so we've got Levin on the screen. You're not just talking to me now, mate. How's the AFCON going? I've seen all your tweets.
You know what? It's going. It's going. That's the way I'd put it. Look, big up to everyone if you're watching AFCON. It's been great. It's been fun to watch so far. Ghana letting me down. They are letting me down. But Nigeria plays tomorrow, I think. So, you know, I'm fortunate, right? Because I can like just pick which side I am because I'm from both. So I can just, Ghana's losing. Yeah, I'm Nigerian anyway, mate. Like, it's cool. So yeah, hopefully Nigeria don't let me down. But AFCON, yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
And I suppose if you go in with, add another couple in with Tunisia and Ivory Coast because of Bay and Maybury, and you've got loads of interest going on there. Talking about the match tonight, what is your thoughts? Well, I'll just, without prejudice or loading it, what's your thoughts on the team?
Look, I think this, when it comes to lineups, I've always, even under Oli, I sort of said this, right? Like, sometimes I can be a bit underwhelmed or overwhelmed when it comes to lineup. Based off of the comments he made about like players being injured or whatnot, I am sort of leaning towards like just like I'm not as not obsessed. Sorry, I'm not as like interested in the actual lineup. I just want to see how we play because I think Aston Villa can cause us potential issues. I have seen some of the things people are saying about the lineup, and I do reiterate to people as much as I possibly can within reason. People need to understand that, like, managers, even new managers who are coming into bad situations, they don't just change up the whole lineup. Like, realistically, Rangnick's probably never, ever going to play a lineup. And any manager at that fact, unless recruitments and different signings are made, they're never really going to put out a lineup that the majority of people are going to be happy about. Because we've all seen these players for the past couple of years and suffered a lot of the time with these players for the past couple of years, no matter who comes in, we're always going to have something where we're going, about that, you know what I mean? So I do try to stay away from that. What I will say though is, you know, we just have to play a lot better because Villa probably will be the best side we've played.
Strong Villa side as well. I mean, literally, I know a lot about Villa because I live in that area of England and I know a lot of Villa fans. And there was a bit of a thought that he might not play 2 or 3 players, Gerard. But that, for me, from what I know about Villa, is pretty much as strong as it can be. And they don't play us in the league till Saturday night. So there's no reason not to. They're going for it. They've won here once before. Do you think that? How do you think the game will go? Do you think because United sometimes look vulnerable, but then again, will we get the bounce from a bad week in the press?
Well, Aston Villa got a lot of quality in all over the pitch, right? They've got a lot of quality all over the pitch. They've got a strong midfield. I think a lot of people know that. They have the ability to control games, you know, via the midfield. They got loads of players who can sort of play in between the lines and pick up and receive the ball well and take care of the ball well. Something we've not been able to do for a while now. They press, you know, they just have a really narrow press that's like quite aggressive. They do like to press up quite high, similar to Liverpool's press. But the only difference is their fullbacks aren't like as aggressive when pressing as like a Trent or Robertson, right? And that could play into our favour because Rashford's playing. I don't know if we're going to play the 4-2-2. But ideally, right, like, you know, one of the fullbacks, let's say Rashford's playing off the left because we are playing a 4-2-3-1, right? You know, Matty Cash isn't going to be able to press aggressively high up the pitch, which means that even though they press high, we probably can still play up from the back and like have a decent amount of possession or whatever. But that all remains to be seen, right, in terms of the actual specifics of what goes on in the game tactically. But we shouldn't be underestimating Villa by any means. They are a strong side. Gerrard's definitely made them a lot better. And to be fair, we're lucky they don't have Coutinho yet, right? Because they've obviously added him, I think, unless that's not been confirmed yet. But
I think they'll have him for the weekend. Just to bring Ricky into the show, not a visual, but as a message that he sent me, he said, Rashford, Bruno, Greenwood and Fred all start. I don't fancy that team to beat anyone. Not to mention McTominay is not a bigger problem as those four, though. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Levin, but the thing I think about this is that this team's, I think it's pretty much, apart from Varane, you could pick this team last season. And one of the problems we had last season with Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno and Cavani as a front four, was McTominay and Fred behind them and a graveyard shift for Cavani. We've got to create chances. That's what worries me, whether it's Ronaldo up front or not. I think the big problem this season is the midfield. And we've just, whether that's by getting Luke Shaw and Delo forward, we've got to create chances. And that's going to be our big problem because that's traditionally a big problem for United for about a year now.
Yeah, and I actually do feel that's one of the main things I worry about, our ability to have control in possession, right? Again, Rangnick's always going on about control, but you look at this lineup and, you don't have a lot of players there who typically you would say are great at helping us keep control of the game. Of course, McFred, right? That's just not their strength. They're not good at that. Greenwood typically isn't great, but he was the best at that probably of all of our attacking players last game. And so hopefully he can sort of have another game similar to last. Rashford and Bruno aren't known for that. Look, Bruno did play well when he came on and he did keep the ball well. But of course, I'm not just going to go off the one game. When you look at Bruno as a whole in his time at United, as much as he's been great at plenty of times, he does have a tendency to be a bit careless on the ball. He likes to sort of get it and let go of it as quickly as possible to make something happen. Whereas against Villa, we probably do just want to sustain pressure a bit better. Like, we don't want to just be incredibly direct against them because they can catch us in transition. Like, they are a very dangerous team. So, yeah, I guess. But the problem is like, with many areas of our squad right now, you sort of go, who comes in to help that? Obvious one would be Donny, right? Maybe you play Donny in here somewhere, whether that be as a 10 or in the pivot, because he allows you to keep control a bit better. But yeah, that is definitely something to be worried about. We'll see how it plays out. Better performances, though, is the most important thing. I talked to Ricky about it. Shout out to Ricky. When we were talking on the show a couple of days ago, that was like the big thing. Ultimately, we can sit here and talk about the lineups and the tactics or whatever, but the players on the pitch just need to be able to make passes. Just need to be able to not have sloppy touches at the very minimum. And, we should be much better off than what we had against Wolves.
Just a few quotes coming in from Rangnick. We'd already spoken, Levin, about Ronaldo, a bit of a hip problem. Sancho, problems in both his hamstrings. Phil Jones, a calf problem. Maguire, he says he's still suffering a bit from his rib contusion. I hope to have him back for the Villa game on Saturday, but for tonight he was not available anyway. We want to make amends for the loss against Wolves. We owe it to the fans. We owe that to ourselves, especially the first half against Wolves. We don't get hold of the ball. This would be the most important part tonight, to be in the pressing zone, in that area where we try to dominate the game. This means to play much more compact and much more aggressive. I mean, there are similarities, I suppose, between Ollie and Rangnick. I don't think there are in relation to their coaching style, but both managers were upset. I think the three words were with Ollie were passion, trust, desire. And I think with Rangnick, he uses a lot of aggression, passion, intensity. That doesn't really reflect well on the players, does it? That managers, they're not talking about anything really deep tactically. It seems to me it's just all focuses around the word effort, really.
Well, I like the fact that the way you worded that, where you said it doesn't reflect well on the players, because the problem is people get frustrated, and people did get very frustrated with Ollie about that because, of course, there were already questions about Ollie's tactical pedigree. But the fact that you have Ollie saying that and you have Rangnick saying that, the fact that they require that so much, they yearn from that from the players. Like, they're begging the players to show a bit of passion and effort. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that, you need that in football, right? But the problem is, the difference with other teams is that's just a given, right? I don't think Pep's spending ages and ages talking to the players about, having a bit of desire and passion on the pitch, because, it's a given. Players should just sort of have that, right? Like, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But it is very telling when our managers are constantly having to remind the players of that, because, yeah, we watch the games. It's not a secret. There are times where you look at players and you sort of go, hold on a minute, you try a bit more, put in a bit more effort. So, yeah.
Maybe that's why he goes. I mean, well, actually, sorry to cut you up. Finish up. Sorry.
Nah, I think I know what you're going to say there.
Well, I'm just going to quickly run up. Start going to tuck Seb in, but because you'll be a couple of minutes for this one anyway, because I haven't asked you about this. I'm going to be quite clever here. So basically, the question is, what's your thoughts on the Donny van de Beek situation? But to give an explanation, maybe, does his constant, because I think so many people are so confused, and I think a lot of people are very interested to see what you've got to say about this. So many people are very confused that this season, our major problem has been losing the midfield battle. And for most of the season, it's been McTominay and Fred. And yet a new manager is still reverting back to McTominay and Fred. And do you think that the reason Donny doesn't start is because McTominay and Fred are perceived to be more aggressive, intense, and passionate, which is something that we need in the team, and probably they don't trust Donny to be like that?
Very loaded question. Good night, Seb. Look, my stance on that, my take on that, really, I think it comes down to a couple of things. The first thing is, I know a lot of people, I think it's no secret that our midfield's weak. Like, no Manchester United fan, if there's like a Manchester United fan who tells you like we don't need reinforcements in midfield, like we don't need to upgrade in that position, like, you know, you very much should question their, you know, one, probably question their fandom, and question just their understanding of football as a whole. But I think the key thing is to understand, and I think many people don't actually appreciate this enough, is the fact that, yeah, the midfield has been an issue for us, but it's not solely been the midfield. There have been a lot of other areas on the pitch and things as a team that have gone wrong, which has led to why we've not been successful. And the example I always give people is, look, we would complain about McTominay and Fred near the start of the season, and I remember we had the game against Leicester, was it the Leicester game, I think it was, where we played Pogba and Matic, right? And we played a different combination, and still, you know, there were problems all over the pitch, right? I think, of course, we need better personnel in replace of McTominay and Fred, and Donny probably would be that. Like I've said plenty of times, I'd love to see Donny tried there, but ultimately, you know, it comes down to more of that, and I think we need to see improvement all over the pitch, because even in that Wolves game, right, the midfield I don't think was great. McTominay had a really bad game, but there were plenty of times still where we were able to get the ball from the back towards our attacking players, and they were just poor as well, right? So it's, I don't think it's fair in football, especially with how complex football can be. I never think it's fair to just sort of go, yeah, it's the midfield, once you fix that, like everything gets better. Of course it will improve everything as a whole, but our problems cut a lot deeper than midfield to me. And I don't think I've actually answered your question in relation to Donny. In relation to Donny specifically, do I think it's because they think he shows less effort? I don't know, man.
Maybe physicality.
Yeah, maybe you could argue physicality, right? But at the same time, the Donny thing I don't get. Like, I'm sort of like everybody else. At this stage, I prefer just not even to talk about it. Like when I'm streaming and people ask me, yo, what do you think of Donny? I literally just say, yo, bro, I'm not really trying to talk about it right now. Just because I don't really know. Like, I don't get it.
I'd just say let him go, and then we don't have to talk about it. I think the fact that he's still here is unfair on him, and the fans just get confused.
I think it's one of those things where ultimately we're probably never going to truly understand until maybe, like, you know, he does move away and he gets into, you know, there's going to be like, let's say Donny moves away, right? There's going to be an interview from like some Dutch outlet or somewhere next year where like he'll give us the full deep dive into what went wrong or something. Like we'll eventually get it. But in the meantime, because we don't know and we have no way of knowing, as fans, like we are constantly like looking for answers, right? Like we theory craft. This is why we theory craft, because we're trying to find some sort of reason as to why, like why on earth would this happen? Like I was giggling earlier before I joined, right? But the guy who said, look, maybe McTominay just plays over Donny because we have to remain a Brexit club, you know? Like you sort of, you come up with things because, you know, there isn't a clear reason right now as to why Donny doesn't get more of a chance. Other than just, you know, the people who are making those decisions don't want to give him that. So I've sort of almost given up with it, depressing as that might sound.
It is funny though, because I do see, you know, I think it's always important in life to see both sides. I would play Donny tonight. In fact, if Donny was playing where McTominay was, that whole team excites me, because I know Ronaldo's not playing because of injury and Sancho's not playing because of injury. So really, Greenwood, Rashford, Cavani, Bruno probably is the right front four in relation to Sancho and Ronaldo being out. Donny in for McTominay, and I like the back five. So we're probably one player away from that team being a team I'd go really happy with it. So I think the negativity towards Rangnick is somewhat unfair.
I also think it's important though, that we understand, even as fans, right, that you talk about how like that lineup is like one player away or whatever. But even then, that doesn't mean it's like a guarantee that that lineup is any bit successful or any bit effective, right? Like that lineup can still go out and have a stinky performance for multiple reasons that we can dissect before and after the game. So as much as like I get people concerns, like I get why people want to see certain players over other players. Like I will never negate that. But ultimately, we have to question whether the team is set up right, like whether Rangnick's gone into the game giving the team the best possible chance to win. Because going into the Wolves game, it's clear that we didn't. He amended things in the second half, right? We changed the formation up a bit. He made some substitutions, but we have to assess whether he's put us in the right position to win this game going into it tactically. Then we have to assess whether the players who actually are playing, whether we like them or not, actually perform. Because certain players last game and in many games over the past year or two just haven't performed when they should.
It would also be interesting as well if, you know, in relation to the Donny obsession, I suppose this shows you how obsessed you are as an individual, whoever's watching. If we did buy a Zakaria or Kamara or whoever people want in January, and he started playing Zakaria with McTominay or Zakaria with Fred, I wouldn't be that bothered about whether Donny starts or not. For me, the problem is the midfield, because we don't have the right balance in the midfield. So I think Donny, a lot of it comes down to, again, that frustration with the midfield that they don't like it. So let's try Donny. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. It's just, I just don't think people ever believe. And they might have a really good game tonight, McTominay and Fred, but even if they did, Fred was man of the match against Palace. McTominay was man of the match against Burnley. I just don't think people believe in that midfield. So I think that's always going to feed this Donny thing.
Yeah, of course. So no, and rightfully so. When our midfield's not working, people will look and go, hold on a minute, we have this midfielder who is very talented on the bench. Why is he not playing? Of course you're going to get that. It's funny because I just started thinking about, you know, the way we're going to play in terms of like the shape and stuff. And I just sat through and watched Ghana play with a 4-4-2, you know, for a good 90 minutes. That basically looked like a 4-2-4 in possession. And I just realized that we might end up doing that again today, where we're playing like a 4-2-4 type thing. And I just sort of hope not. I've already had a full 90 of that. Like, I'm tired now, you know. And this is the problem we have with our team, where, you know, with the way Rangnick wants to play, there's not much flexibility. It's why we need somebody who can play as a single pivot so badly, so that at least there's options there. We need some tactical flexibility. We just don't have that right now with our current players.
Bringing it to the game, I suppose there's two questions following on from that one. Do you think we'll play with the 4-2-4 or the 4-2-2 or whatever it is? Or do you think he will go to the 4-2-3-1, put Rashford left, Greenwood right, give Bruno that freedom as the 10 on his own and Cavani the freedom as the striker on his own? Do you think he will do that? And we don't do score predictions. I know you don't like those, but how do you think this game's going to go? It's very hard, I know, but personally, I think United will find a way to win it by an odd goal. I don't see us winning 2 or 3-0. What's your thoughts on formation and how the game's going to go now that you know both teams' lineups?
Okay, so based off of what we know about both teams right now, I feel like I might curse this by saying this, but United have enough quality to be able to deal with Villa's high press. And so even though they can be quite aggressive and they can be effective in that way, the players we have, we should be able to beat the press, you know, by making the pitch wider, stretching the pitch, because they have quite a narrow press. And in that sense, hopefully we can keep control of the ball well, but that will come down to individual player quality. If we don't take care of the ball, we're going to be in for a game where Villa does just, you know, sustain pressure for large periods, because they have plenty of players who can pick up between the lines. You know, we're going to need, you know, our players, you know, because I like Cavani. Like, I don't have a problem with Cavani, for example, right? But for example, last game against Wolves, there were times where he just didn't keep the ball well enough. His hold-up play wasn't good enough, right? His link play wasn't good enough. He's
not played well the last 2 games, really, has he?
You know what I mean? And Rashford as well is someone who his form just not been great. We need him to really sort of give Aston Villa's backline an issue. That's the reason why he plays. Ultimately, Rangnick's literally told us why Rashford plays. So the people who don't understand, I don't necessarily agree, but I do understand why he plays, right? He always talks about how he wants someone that can stretch the pitch. And so, you know, we need to be able to find him. He's the
quickest player in the team, isn't he?
You know what I mean? So it's tough. I have belief that we won't be like bad, but I could see this game being a bit back and forth, a bit 50-50 here, just simply because the 4-2-2 I think could hurt us because it's quite narrow. Like, if our fullbacks aren't pushing forward, I actually didn't mention that. Is this the first game we're seeing Delo and Shaw as both the fullbacks? And like,
must be, right? Yeah, it must be, because I think Delo came into the team when Shaw had concussion, and then they both, Delo and Telles, came out of the team for Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. I mean, I wanted. We've got 4 minutes till kickoff, so I might have to be a bit quick on this one. But I did just tweet it a few minutes ago. I don't have a massive problem with that team. You know, Maguire's not come back in. All right, he's injured. All right, McTominay and Fred are playing, but I really like that back 5. And I felt Phil Jones deserved to start the game, but his injury actually gives an opportunity to Lindelof, which is more long-termism than Jones. And Delow deserves a chance at right back as well. So that back five, to me, arguably has the potential. Now, whether Maguire would ever really be dropped, I don't know. But that could be, in the way that Rangnick wants to play, that could be our best back five.
Yeah, I definitely think that there is a case he made for that. I'm very doubtful. I think Maguire will come back right into the team. And I know people won't like to hear that, but I do think Maguire will just be right back into the team when he's ready to play or whatever. So, yeah. I think this backline is good, though. I'm confident. I don't have a problem with this backline. I think Lindelof's been great this season. Varane hopefully is, a bit more warmed into things. You can sort of tell he hadn't played for a while in the Wolves game when he's getting outshone by Phil Jones. But then again, it's the mighty Phil Jones. So, who's ever going to compete with him? And Luke Shaw and Luke Shaw and Dalot have been our two best fullbacks this season. So, or in theory, our two best left backs. Luke Shaw's not had great form for a lot of last season, or this season, sorry. So, yeah.
It might. We're not going to have time to talk about it now. It might be something you can talk about later. Is the fact that both McTominay and Shaw don't play on Saturday, and whether, certainly in the case of Telles, it might have been an idea to play Telles tonight simply because he won't be as rusty for the game against Saturday. But again, I don't know what you can read into that. Does that just mean he thinks Shaw's better, and well, I may as well put him out in this game because it gives me more chance of winning?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that, just because, one, I think he probably does think Shaw's better, and I think Shaw's better. So, yeah. And two, the risk factor, right? Because if he does play Telles in this game, Telles gets injured and can't play in the game.
Yeah.
And he can't play Shaw because of suspension. Then we're all looking at him like, you idiot. Why would you risk Telles when we knew, right, Luke Shaw couldn't play on the weekend? Why would you do that? You know what I mean? So, just purely risk factor, I get why you wouldn't want to take that risk.
I think it's a great point as well, because some people would say, well, yeah, Donny should play tonight because, but clearly that fits in with what you're saying, because I think it's going to be Matic on Saturday, in which case definitely don't play Matic tonight because he really could get injured or tired for Saturday. So, yeah, don't be thinking Donny's starting on Saturday. I think if Donny was starting on Saturday, he would be starting tonight. Look,
a man can dream. A man can dream. That's all we can say.
Very quickly, this can go to extra time.
I actually forgot about this FA Cup, innit? Oh,
yeah. Which way do you think this is going to go? I'm going to go with a narrow United win.
Yeah, I will give you a score prediction. 1-0 Man United win.
There you go. Yeah. To be honest, losing tonight, like we did to Wolves last week, where we get dominated, would be 10 times worse than the Wolves, because there has to be a reaction, doesn't there? There has to be.
Exactly.
Even if it's just wearing the shirt, there's got to be a reaction tonight.
I just think you like, as players, you can't have another game where just quality-wise you're just that poor, right? Like you can't. At that point, it's like, what are we really doing here? Like, none of you should be playing for Man United at that point. You know what I mean? So, has to be a reaction.
Well, really enjoyed the chat, Levin, as ever, and thanks for popping on.
Yeah, no, see you guys all after the game for the fan forum. Hopefully this week I don't have any internet problems and we should all be good. And hopefully it's a win as well. So see you guys at the end.
Positivity, that's all it's going to be tonight.
Yeah. See you guys after the game.
Cheers, Levin. Thank you. I was just looking at some really good points from Levin there. I think actually he's probably right about the Telles thing. If he does get injured, you've got no left back. So it's a good angle there, which you always get on the United stand. We always try and cover all the angles. We're just about to start the match here. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I expect to see a good start from United. There is something about Steven Gerrard, which I absolutely hate. And he just doesn't strike me as a manager that's going to be out of his depth, which is not a bad thing to be. He just stands there, looks confident, arrogant almost. They've not been smashed by anybody, really. They've been to Anfield, did well. They lost, but they did well. What I'm saying about Villa is they make every game a contest. They might not win, but they make every game a contest, and that's not always a good thing with United. United, we stand, or divided we fall. Player reaction needed tonight, says Alpha Gamer. Well, there's no more time for talk. It's time to play. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. United stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got match reactions. We've got fan forum tonight. We'll have fan vlogs from outside the game. All angles covered, all opinions covered, and welcome. And the match has kicked off. And it's the rugby kickoff again. It's just so funny. I don't know. I'm going to have to start watching other teams, because people have said to me, in fairness, Goldbridge, I think it's either Liverpool do it. I think Liverpool do it. But it's a rugby kickoff every game. We just give it to Lindelof or Maguire, and they go for height. They go for possession. 33, 34, 35. Okay. United Six Nations is Alpha Gamer. Well, United starting off with the ball here anyway. Let's have a quick look at the shape. To me, it's very hard to tell what we're playing here. It could be a 4-2-4 again. It's definitely not. It's not the central 4-2-2. He's abandoned that, which I think Draughty put up on a tweet before. Rashford's very wide left. Greenwood very wide right. Bruno is playing very, very close to Cavani, and McTominay is looking to break from the midfield. So let's see. Very good observation tactically by Levin that Villa do try and play everything quite narrow. So we will have to use the width. And I think we've won an early goal kick. I thought it was a corner there. It's a 4-2-3-1, says a lot of people in the chat. I disagree. I don't think it looks like a 4-2-3-1. I think it looks like a 4-4-2 at the moment to me. But we'll give it a bit of time. Give it a bit of time. Bruno's playing very high up with Cavani, even when they're on the attack. And good tackle by Delot. Hopefully he's going to have a big game tonight. Loses the ball, but and a 50-50 between Ings and... I mean, they're going to be very competitive and physical. That's what Gerrard's teams do. That's what he was like. And I think we will see that from them. The midfield's going to be very interesting. You know, you look at Fred and McTominay and how that front three of Villa are. They're almost... This is where, look, McTominay's doing it again. Look at McTominay's position again. He's hiding behind the Villa players. He's not actually finding the space. He's got it now. That's a good ball out to Rashford. A very, very good ball by McTominay. Use the ball. Use the overlap. See, he's holding on to it again, Rashford. What's he going to do? Too long. Too fucking long again. I know he's found a player, but it's too much skill. It's too much holding on to the ball. Here's Bruno. Yeah, I just think Rashford doesn't get rid of the ball quick enough. Now it's Villa on the break with Watkins. Very good French left-back, Targay, but it's not on that side at the moment. Ferrand as well. Best French left-back in the world playing for Villa again tonight. If you know, you know, says Joshua Bowwater. Do you see the Standards banner with Keane, Cantona, Robson on it? Subtle message to Maguire, says Alfred III. We're playing a 5-5 with no midfield as usual, says Brian Spence. And it's my birthday today, big 40. Just got back from a Chinese buffet. Now for my Goldbridge fix. Keep up the good work, says Mental Health Gaming. Cross comes in and De Gea gets hold of it. So interesting start. Quite an open start. I would like to see Rashford just bloody get the ball out, you know, sometimes. Just get it going. You know, he had to do a skill move again. He's going to get a lot of the ball tonight, but Matty Cash is a good right back. Good. Here we go. Here we go. Bruno. Oh, tries to slip him in. Go wide. Play on, says the referee. But it's got a good pace to the game, this. Look at the combinations between Villa there. It's amazing how teams can go through the middle so well, and you know, they're so comfortable in their little passing phases. I just get fed up of watching teams playing quite well against us, you know. But here we go, Rashford. No, Matty Cash has got the pace there. Good goalkeeper Martinez as well. You know, two good goalkeepers tonight. But I quite like the game. I mean, it's not what you want to see at Old Trafford in the first 5 minutes. You like to see, if this is Anfield or this is the Etihad, the home team's going to be dominant, but it's quite a 50-50 game again. But it's better than the first 5 minutes against Wolves. We actually are moving the ball around better and further up the pitch. Here's Bruno with the cross, and Martinez just comes and collects it. For the neutral, I think it's a decent game so far. Lindelof playing right-sided centre-back tonight, and Varane playing left-sided centre-back. Fred coming to get the ball. That's good to see. It's not a bad ball either by Fred. That's what you want to see. That's what I want to see from McTominay and Fred. Come and take the ball off the back four and then play it. Well, McTominay's just lost it there. I don't know whether he's carrying an injury, McTominay, but Fred wins it back. Well done, Fred. Into Tillow. I'll tell you what, Fred has had a really good first 5 minutes here. One touch pass there. McTominay puts it out to Rashford. Okay, now. McTominay with a half-decent shot, but Rashford again cutting inside and trying to shoot from ridiculous angles. He just, I don't know, when is Rashford going to learn that he's so predictable? All he ever wants to do is run past people and shoot. But yeah, good start by Fred. And nice to see McTominay shooting from there, because I think this is clearly what McTominay's good at, 30 yards out. So, yeah, I just wish Rashford would just pass the ball, like mix it up a bit. Fred's had a good start. I agree with you there. You went, why is Old Trafford so empty today? Cup game. I mean, look, we've got the biggest capacity in England, 75,000. Even if 1,000 don't turn up, you're going to see a few red seats. Donny's not playing. No, the team. If you are just tuning in a little bit late, De Gea in goal, Delot, Varane, Lindelof, Shaw, McTominay and Fred, Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford, Cavani. Ronaldo's got an injury. Sancho's got an injury. Maguire's not fully fit, and Jones has got an injury. Donny's on the bench. I think it looks more like a 4-2-4 to me, or a 2-4-4. Bruno's playing very high up the pitch. He's not playing like a number 10. Here's Luke Shaw. McTominay is pushing forward a lot, though, which is good to see. Greenwood and Targett gives a corner away. Be interesting, actually, from corners, because we haven't got Maguire, which is the one thing I do think Maguire is good at. Villa lineup, Martinez, Cash, Konza, Mings, Targett, Ramsey, McGinn, and Luis, with Bendia, Ings, and Watkins. You raise a good point, actually. I'm not sure what the Villa bench is. I should have looked at that, because this has got the opportunity to go extra time. Luke Shaw with the cross to the back post. There's people there. It's Bruno. Cross comes in, headed away. Second ball, Fred. Go on, Fred. Greenwood. He's wide. Fred puts a cross in. It's a good cross. It's a goal. It's McMayonnaise. It's Scott McTominay. McFred combine. And Manchester United take an early lead here. Scott McTominay and Fred, they've combined. They've sat us all down. McFred make it 1-0. It's a lovely header, and it's a lovely cross by Fred, and it's a legitimately good goal. McFred 1-0. Lovely stuff. Manchester United take the lead. Delightful cross by Fred. Absolutely delightful cross. And McTominay with the glancing header. Sit down, Donny van der Beek. It's and everybody, to be fair. Why are they not doing that? I don't know. Yeah, lovely cross by Fred. I think it might have took people by surprise, but it's a lovely cross by Fred. There's not a lot for McTominay to do. He's got a free header, basically. Heads it into the bottom corner. It's the quality of the cross. And I think Fred's had a really good start to the game. And it's a delightful cross. And McTominay's just got to glance it in. I mean, Maguire would have missed it, but McTominay uses the forehead, glances it in. Delightful cross by Fred. 1-0 to Manchester United. There you go. Skibby-doo. McTominay starting to get the goals, being licensed to go forward. It was funny because we were just talking about the shot that he had a couple of minutes ago. It's very clear to me that if McTominay's allowed to get forward, that is obviously what his strength is. We watch him play week in, week out. He was crap against Wolves. He's been crap most of the season. But Burnley and tonight are probably the only two games, apart from Leeds, where he's allowed to get forward. And he's got 3 goals in 2 games, when you think about it. Well, obviously he hasn't, because he didn't score against Wolves. But he wasn't allowed to get forward against Wolves. So I think when you allow him to get forward is when you start to see what he's all about, really. Is that another corner? Yeah, another corner to Villa. This is what happens when McTominay's allowed to get forward and drift into the box. Exactly, Drew. Exactly. Let him get forward and you see a different Scott McTominay. Let's hope we don't sit back. No. Is that first time that Fred has actually worked, says Rafina, official? Oh, it should be 1-1. What a miss on the back post. Watkins on the back post, basically Mr. Timo Watkins, I think. Let's have a look as it happens. It's a corner. A corner to Villa. It's a little flick on at the front post by Mings. And to be fair, it would have been a lucky goal because it wasn't a perfect corner at all. It comes off Lindelof's head. And it's a difficult finish for Watkins, to be fair. So I don't think it was easy to finish. Joseph, thank you very much for the super chat. Please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, Manchester United 1-0 up. I wouldn't say it's a dominant performance from Manchester United, but we've took our chance. It's a well-deserved goal. It's been quite an equal game, but we've took our chance. No complaints. You can't argue with that. If McTominay goes forward, surely we need a CDM so he can get forward and pay attention to board members, says Brian. Yeah. Fred can't hold the midfield on his own. Great cross by, I love how BBC commenters try and use this to attack those that critics Fred as not giving them a fair press. But how often do they do this? That's why we criticise them, says Andrew Brown. Well, the BBC can swivel on it. You don't even have Premier League football, BBC. So, what would you know? Bloody shut up. They don't know bloody anything. Our Fred to do something right for the first time in 3 years. That's them starting for the next year, says Sean Turner. Well, they've been starting for the last year, really, Sean. I want all United players to do well. There's no part of me. I think there's probably some people that when players they don't like score, whether it's Bruno or Rashford or Ronaldo, they don't celebrate it. But I just want Manchester United to do well. I thought it was a fantastic cross by Fred, and I thought McTominay, a relatively straightforward chance for a professional footballer, took it very well. But as I said, Maguire would probably miss that chance because as good as he is at winning headers, it can go anywhere. So I thought it was well finished by McTominay, but the cross was absolutely delightful. Absolutely delightful. They're on the attack though, Villa. I'll tell you what, don't be kidded if you're not watching the game that we're going to win this game comfortably because Villa have actually started off quite well. Another half chance there. Bendia with the cross. If we win without Ronaldo, the media will take the easy option and say he shouldn't start anymore because he's the problem and we play without him, says Nick. Well, the interesting thing is, Nick, I mean, Bendia just skips past Luke Shaw and Fred there. Cross comes in and, it could have been 1-1. But I've seen enough from this game already to know that next Saturday at Villa Park is going to be difficult because they're giving us a game here and we'll be able to give them a game there. But obviously it's always difficult when you haven't got the crowd with you. So Bruno's dropping in a little bit more now, which is good to see. I like it when I like the 4-2-3-1. Here's Greenwood back into Delo. Lovely play. And is it a corner? No, it's a throw-in. Do you think Rashford could be top class if his shooting was better, says Exit? No, because I think he'd bloody shoot more, wouldn't he? He needs to pass more. That's what he needs to do. I'd like to see us just go through a phase of possession now where we keep hold of the ball. Just take the sting out of the game a bit. It's been quite an open game the first 15 minutes. We've got the goal. Let's just keep the ball a little bit. I know Ranić likes intensity, but it's not a bad thing to just keep the ball a little bit. And this ball's always on wide to Rashford. Lovely ball out by McTominay there. Rashford again. Shoots again. You see, people will go, oh, Rashford, good cross. It's a shot. If you think, watch what Rashford does here and watch what Cavani does. He's trying to convert a shot. Imagine if Rashford just crosses this. That's not a cross. That's a shot. 100% that is a shot. Imagine if he'd crossed that. That's what he's saying. Cavani's going, the ball's like that. I can't direct it. Currently in hospital suffering with appendicitis, still watching you in the games as well. Rest up. Hope you get better soon. And if Rashford wants to justify just selfishly cut in and score, why doesn't he spend time learning how to do it effectively from the greatest exponent of Rat rather than sulking? It's now time to control the game in the tempo, says Roger. I think Rashford's playing the game to try and score tonight, isn't he? It's even from the first 15 minutes, you just sense that he's He wants to shut people up. Prince says that was a very good cross by Rashford. Mate, if you think that's a cross, you must be watching on slow play. Oh, Scooby-Doo. I've hurt my ankle. Rashford would rather score a worldie after 50 shots than have 5 assists, says Jameson Gray. I'd be all right from that. It was just a little bang. Coutinho, Digne, Basuma, Bailey, Saturday, Silla, Villa, says HH Gaming. I don't think that they will have Villa on the attack again here. I don't think that they will have Basuma on Saturday. Villa bench is not that strong. They've got not really anybody that jumps out to me as a concern on that bench, to be honest with you. In fact, I don't know most of their players on the bench. House is on the bench. El Ghazi's on the bench. The rest of them, I think, are either young players or not that good. So 1-0 to United. What are your thoughts, everybody? I think it's good to be 1-0 up, but I think it's been a very equal game. Surprised the ref didn't go back for a foul there on Villa. It was a very clear obstruction off the ball, but United might benefit. Rashford, is he going to pass? What was wrong with the pass to Bruno there? I'm going to start looking at people and seeing, do they refuse passes to certain people? You want to see what a drilled cross looks like, go back and watch Valencia cross, then compare it to what Rashford does, says Sean Turner. And good start, but I'm still not convinced with the 4-2-2 formation. Villa have already played through our high several times this half, says Daniel. Lindelof and Varane is a good pair, good and calm with their feet, and I feel that they complement each other very well, says Elvin. I'm happy with 1-0 up. I'd just like to see us get more control of the game because I agree. I think Villa are coming through as a lot. And I already, a little bit like the Wolves game, I feel like if this was Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool, we'd probably be losing 2-1 already because they've had it in really good positions. Here's Greenwood, very deep, but good play. Still in his own half, switches it to Fred. Bad first touch by Fred. He'll have to be quick to get back. Ollie Watkins. Fred working hard to get it back, but it was his first touch, I'm afraid. Here's McGinn. Don't let him shoot. He's got a good left foot on him. Good save, De Gea. Good save, De Gea. And offside anyway. But good shot, good save. I think Villa are winning the midfield battle, basically. I know it sounds really bad because we scored from Fred and McTominay, but I think the midfield battle is being lost again. Villa had two or three really great occasions and they missed them. We are not controlling the game and defence that well, says Jameson. I think they're running off our midfield too much. McGinn and Ramsey and Luis are getting to the edge of our box too easily. But it's a lovely save by De Gea, that, because it's quite a good hit. Rashford must have been told to shoot at any occasion, says Matty. Well, yeah, tactically, you don't know, do you? Maybe he has been told to do that. Good feeling on Coutinho. Career resurgence coming, says Jar Bar Drinks. You see, look, this is Rashford again. He's had the ball for 5 seconds there to pass it backwards. Somebody needs to tell Rashford, when you get the ball, keep it moving. Like, if you've got the ability to run into space, run into space. If you haven't got the ability to run into space, pass it quickly. See, again there, it's too many touches again. I'm going to have to tweet it. I think we're getting a lesson in Marcus Rashford tonight. He holds on to the ball for too long. He's got to just... if I was coaching Rashford, and obviously he's got to want to listen, I'd say, Marcus, when you get the ball, get rid of it within the first 2 seconds, and your game will improve massively. if you've got space to run into, keep the ball. But if you're starting from a standstill and there's a player in front of you, get rid of it in the first 2 seconds. Pass and move. Because you're so quick. Pass and move is logical. Good interception here by McTominay and Bruno. Cavani tries. I mean, Cavani's been quite quiet. Not really getting our forward into the game again, are we? Rashford has definitely lost confidence as Roger. Yeah, that's why I say get rid of the ball quicker. You know, pass and move. You know, I imagine it's just going to be jeers all the time. Go on, Lindelof. Nice one. I swear Fred's boots are made of concrete. Every ball passed to him bounces off his feet like a ball hitting a brick wall, says Steve Metcalf. Thank you very much for the super chats, by the way. Rashford is that player on pro clubs who never passes, says Jordan White. And he was nearly in there. But goes out for a throw-in. Nikhil says Rashford needs to stop ball hogging and pass it. What I'd like to see Rashford is get the ball, drill it off to Bruno and move. And Bruno will give the little dink ball in behind. And you might get a one-on-one then. You know, he is keeping the ball for too long. And at this level, there's not many unless you're Lionel Messi, there's not many players who can pick the ball from a standstill, skip past 3 or 4 players and score. But he's very lucky, Rashford, because who's going to play off the left wing? We've got no one. There's nobody who can play on the left wing apart from him now. Martial wants to leave. Oh, Greenwood is unlucky there. I have had no confidence. I wouldn't be shooting and dribbling, says Jameson Gray. And do you think we're going to win Zakaria, says MT? I hope so. It'd be nice just to have another option in the midfield. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the channel. We will have player ratings for you in the second half to vote for. You vote, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll go through that on the match reaction. Are Rashford and Greenwood so greedy because of Ollie's teachings? Well, to be fair, Greenwood's hardly had the ball, Rel, today. Much better today. We'll never give up on Rashford. Remember, when his first game, there is defo a player there, would score 20 a season in any other league, says David Miller. You'd have to pass first, mate. He's not going to score 20 a season from left wing with 4 players in front of him, is he? Yeah, we haven't seen much of Greenwood so far, Alpha Gaming. Could do with the second goal in this game because, as I said before in the preview, Villa, always a competitive side, very rarely are not in a game. So Rashford's situation is slowly becoming like Mata. Brilliant off-field work, but poor on the pitch. Oh, I disagree, Daniel. I think Mata, age-wise, was a problem. I think there's a player in Rashford. I just think it's about coaching and listening and simplifying. I think he's still trying to do the things that he did when he was really confident and in form, and he's out of form at the moment. So just go back to the basics. Lovely play by Greenwood. Again, too greedy. He was too greedy there, Greenwood. He beats his man, put the cross in. I was just giving Greenwood some credit there. Look, this is it. Skips past the player. Now the cross. Now the cross. Now the cross. No, I'm going to try and take everybody on. It's just greedy. Tweeted it there, you know, both our wide players are too greedy. Their first thought should be to create, and actually their first thought is to score. 12 times, there's not many players with the ability Rashford has and decision-making as bad. Bruno, lovely ball to Rashford. Now, he's got time here. Let's see what he does. Gives it to Shaw. That's good. Now give it... Oh, he's giving the ball away. Rashford will be 25 this year. So most top wingers, strikers should be at the peak of their careers. Greenwood has seemed to adapt to his role well, who had the same issues in previous seasons as IQ. And I think Rashford tries too hard. He just needs to relax. Exactly. Simplify it, Ed. Simplify the game. I don't think people want Rashford to fail. I don't think people think Rashford's really crap. I mean, sure, some of you do. I think a lot of people agree with me. I think there's definitely a good player there. We just need to find it. And to do that, you've got to go back to basics. Good play by Villa here, but look at how Villa have got themselves out of trouble there, because United have actually been pressing them quite well. And they've just played the right pass every time to get all the way up the pitch. Confident. I can see high press, but we're getting bypassed easy. Rangnick gone back to 4-2-3-1, but transitions are still slow, but better than the Wolves game. Oh, it's definitely, yeah. That's one positive, Pranav. We're winning 1-0 and we're also playing a lot better than the Wolves game. But Villa have played really well here. It's a good shot and it's a good save. Lovely play by Villa again. And I'm going to have a look in a minute at what the stats are in relation to shots, because I think they've been far more creative than we have. At this point, just slap Telles on the left and drop Rashford and let him put 200 crosses in. It's a good idea, James. I mean, Jameson, I think you raise a good point there. What other option have we got on the left wing if Rashford has a bad game? And Telles isn't a left winger, but if you give him the ball, he'll try and put a cross in the box. Greenwood should learn from Mahrez or Bernardo Silva how to not be too fast and still go past players and look up, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. And I think we are seeing what happens when you have two strikers on the wing. They're making the striker's job even harder, says Sean Turner. Well, it's the graveyard shift again for Cavani so far, which is what I predicted. Well, I didn't predict it, but I was concerned about it. Good interception here. We've got a 3v2. Bruno to Greenwood. Oh, Greenwood should have been bursting there. Bruno. Slip Cavani in. Good save. Oh, that was good. That was good play between Bruno and Cavani. And a good save by Martinez. If this team had a leader like Maguire says, he'd be screaming at Greenwood and Rashford to pass the ball like Keane did to Ronaldo when he joined, says MA. And Donny's travelling tonight on a plane. I can see the red tail lights heading for Spain, says Gertchen. Could have been 2-0 there. Lovely little play between Cavani and Bruno. I really wanted Greenwood to arrow his run there, but he just didn't make it. But Bruno does really, really well. Slips in Cavani. Good shot. It's a hard angle, but nice to see Cavani getting a shot on goal. It's his first bloody chance, and it's half an hour in. Maybe the absence of Ronaldo will give these young players a chance to eat humble pie and realise Ronaldo knows what he's on about, says Ash G. Free kick to United here, headed away. Rashford walks around too much and he has the same lazy style that people used to criticise Martial. If he was French, he would be on the bench. Aram, that rhymes. Let's have a quick look at the stats in the game so far. I was going to mention this because I feel like possession-wise, it might be quite interesting to see how many chances they've had compared to us. So, typically, I can't bloody see them. I don't know. You know, BBC have got the game on and then they don't bloody seem to have. There we go. No, we don't go there. That's not it. I can't tell you what the stats are, which is very annoying. They've got the game on and they haven't got their own bloody stats. Oh, nice ball into Watkins. He's got away from Lindelof. It's the bar. Bloody hell. Lucky not to be 1-0 down. Watkins had Lindelof on toast there, I'm afraid. He did. He really did. United. I tell you what, I think you could argue that Villa have been the better team here. Let's have a quick look here. Manchester United versus Villa. I mean, Lindelof, all sorts of trouble here. Terrible first touch. Gets back into position, then Watkins just skins him and puts it in the bottom corner. Puts it in the bar, sorry. Would have been 1-0, 1-1 there. Rashford plays like Leroy Sané played at the start of the season, and Sané is a completely different player now. There's definitely hope, says Croissant. And imagine if Cavani had more than 1 or 2 chances per match, says Jameson. We need another man in the midfield. We're being overrun, says Jonathan Matthews. I did say that 15 minutes ago. We're winning the game 1-0, so some people are blinded by the score. Ooh, I'm blinded by the score, but I think Villa are winning the midfield battle. Doesn't work. But no, I do think that they are winning the midfield battle. I'm trying to think where I can get the bloody stats from. BBC have really let me down here. Here we go. Only half an hour gone. Into the box again. Oh, just deflects wide. Villa are all over us. Mark, compare game v Arsenal and McTominay's today, says Hassan. Well, McTominay scored. Okay, here we go. Why is nobody doing stats on this fucking game? I'm on One Football and they don't seem to be doing stats. It's crazy. Is nobody allowed to do stats on this game? Has anybody got a site where I can get the stats from this game? One Football's just got 5:30 today. Predicts the score. Give us the bloody stats, man. Crazy. Delo's down injured here. Very telling that the crowd have been chanting for Donny at multiple points throughout the game, says Joshua Bowwater. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, people. I can't find the live stats anywhere. I've just been on Who Scored. I've been on One Football. I've been on the BBC, and they're all talking like the game's going to happen. None of them are giving live stats, so I can't give it to you. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what's going on statistically wise. Someone's just told me somebody else here because I want to be able to give it to you, and Delo is injured here at the moment, so. He's coming off as well. That's a real shame for Delo. Oh, bloody hell. It looks like Wan-Bissaka's going to come on. Okay, I got the stats for you now anyway. 55% possession is in favour of Manchester United. But Villa have had 6 shots to our 3. Only 2 on target, 3 for us. So, you know, statistically, you'd probably say it's quite equal. But I think Villa have been the better side. Very telling that the crowd have done that one. Live score is the stats, Mark, says Jameson Gray. Thank you very much. And Mark, is it me or do our 2 midfielders go hiding when our defence has the ball? They always have done, NL. But Fred's position is always very bad when our defence has the ball, which forces our defence to make long passes. So Alex Ferguson, absolute legend, but Man United really need to move on from those former glories and build something new, says Davin. I hope Delo's going to carry on here. He's putting his boot back on. He's cut his foot. And Wan-Bissaka's put his jumper back on. So, yeah, Delo's not coming off, which is good. Don't want to see a player with an opportunity like tonight not taking it. But I think you can see the blood on his foot, actually. He must have cut it quite bad. He did cut it really badly. Darren Fletcher makes me want to throw you, Mark. He's sitting on Ralph's knee, says Phil. Corner to Villa. Another front post header won, but they flick it over the bar. We just can't keep our concentration defensively, says Andreas. Give chances like that away against top teams and we'd be behind for now for sure. And It looks like Rashford and Shaw have fallen out. No chemistry between them like before. That used to be our danger side, says Cricked. And can you sing the Diego song, says Kazin. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? We said this in the preview that I do quite fancy United to win this game by 1 goal. And we are winning by 1 goal at the moment. But it's not been convincing. But then again, it's what I said in the preview. I didn't think it would be convincing. I think Villa are a good side. And I think if we were playing like this against a Liverpool or a City, they would be winning the game. Maybe we're not winning the game, but just because of that quality. Oh, Greenwood, that's a terrible pass. Please don't lead to anything. You'll be subbed for that, Greenwood. Oh, my God. He sent Fred back to Brazil. Good tackle by Delo. Cavani's in a place where he doesn't want to be. Fred wins a free kick, though. Team's not playing very well, says Nerd Stop. I can see Donny waving goodbye. Oh, it looks like Donny must be the clouds in my eyes. Oh, you're doing it to the Daniel song by Elton John. Donny is flying away on a plane. I can see those jets in lights heading for Spain. Oh, and I can see Donny waving goodbye. Oh, it looks like Donny must be the clouds in my eyes. I love that song as well. It gives me goose. It's actually called Daniel by Elton John. But yeah, it's a good song. Well done, Gurchin. Go on, Rashford. Yes, good. Passed. He cut inside. He passed the ball. Well done. Now Greenwood. Oh, let's see. See what happens when you pass. Oh, Bruno, that was going in the bottom corner. Good clearance by Matty Cash. See what happens there. Rashford gets rid of the ball in 2 seconds. Greenwood puts a cross in the box and we nearly score. It's not bloody rocket science, is it? Luke Shaw. Good shot over the bar. Wins a corner. Yeah, he's still on. Mark, I've no longer any faith in United. I tried hard to believe, says Adam. Well, we could have been 2-0 up there. Nice, well, I say nice bit of play by Rashford. It was simplistic play, which he hasn't been doing. And it led to Greenwood getting the ball. He put a cross in and then we ended up nearly scoring. So it's just, that's you can't have 2 wide players who both don't want to pass and shoot. And they've got to be creative. Rash belongs at Wolves with his wasted chances, media hype, our youth are 24 to 27. Brexit FC gets a pass every time, says Michael Fetty. I think we're in for a difficult game on Saturday. Unless we improve massively, I think it's going to be another difficult game away from home. Villa are a good side, aren't they? You can already see, it's very rare that you play a team and then you play them again. And this is Villa's pretty much strongest team, although they might have a couple of players to add to their team by Saturday. But it's going to be a difficult game against them at the weekend. I mean, this could be 1-1, really. We're playing these on Saturday, Bradster. That's what I'm saying. It'll be a difficult game. As much as Ronaldo is the GOAT, but are we better and more cohesive as a team without Ronaldo, says Vabath. What game are you watching, mate? You're on FIFA. Turn it off. What game are you watching that you think we're a better team without Ronaldo? We've not actually played that well, mate. Villa should have scored. This ain't a vintage United performance. I know Wolves was crap and this is an improvement, but it's not a great performance, this, by United. I can't understand why you'd say that. I don't know what... I want to watch what you're watching. Oh, we don't need Ronaldo. We don't need Sancho. We're playing bloody brilliant. Being from Mönchengladbach makes my heart bleed to see Zakaria go. He's a brilliant player. I hope you get him so he doesn't go to Dortmund, says Tay. Well, I'd like to see us get him. I don't know whether we will. I'm impressed with Greenwood. He really seems to be buying into becoming a more creative force, says Alec Miller. I think Greenwood is a more natural creative player. Good play there by Delo. Strength, and it goes out for a goal kick. The only positive about this half is that we're 1-0 up. Very average performance, says Daniel. Exactly. I think it's very, very pleasing that we're 1-0 up. The important thing is to get to half time and reassess. I'd like to see us get hold of that midfield a little bit more because I feel that we're playing on the break. I think Villa are playing more like a home side. I feel that we're playing on the break a little bit here. Take him out, Delo. Well done. Zakaria's injury record's not too bad, Mario. He had a bad knee injury, which he came back from about a year ago, and he's not been injured since. So, you can have a bad injury record now if you have one bad injury, which he did have a bad injury, and he's not really been injured since. Good work by Greenwood. 3 minutes to go to half time. Very happy that United are winning 1-0. I mean, obviously, it's a cup game. It's just about winning. Van der Beek to stay and wait for Ten Hag, Mark, says Mohammed. Is this truthfully any better? He isn't playing 4-2-2 because they aren't good enough. The work rate isn't much better. And Rashford has been shocking, says Clay. I think it'd be a half that's going to be quite divisive, really. Here we go, on the break. Cavani, 3v3. Make the right moves. Rashford's run was actually quite good, but it's turned into a 5. Oh, sure. And Martinez gets it. Come on. We're picking up a lot of these situations where that's a free kick. Now Rashford might. I'd let Rashford shoot from this free kick. I'd let Rashford shoot from here. It's right before half time. Mark, don't even say the press is the same with Ronaldo, says Daniel Harrington. And look, if you want to talk about whether we're better with Ronaldo or not, that's up to you. It's not going to be a topic for me because I think it's such an idiotic topic. I don't think we've played well enough to go, we don't need Ronaldo to start. Certainly not. I'd let Rashford start. I'd let Rashford take this. Van der Beek to stay and wait for Ten Hag. I don't think he would do that. This is going to be one of those Rashford ones where he dips it in front of the keeper. So it could move around a bit. So if I'm Cavani, I'm following this in. It's a bit too far out for Bruno. Rashford hit it into the wall. Good cross, though, from Greenwood. And Villa clear it. Strength by Luke Shaw. He's done well. Slip Greenwood in. Edge of the box, McTominay. Oh, good shot. Good save, Martinez. Good technique by McTominay there. You know what it feels like to me? McTominay and Fred are decent attacking midfielders, but crap CDMs. And we just need a CDM. That's what we need. McTominay on the edge of the box is actually quite decent, isn't he? But on the edge of our box, him and Fred are. But let's get into half time 1-0 up. It's a positive, and then let's take it from there. We need a regista, says United supporter. Slip him in, Rashford. Oh, God. Mark, it seems to me that Delo has improved his defence more than Aaron Wan-Bissaka on his offence. Hold on a minute. Villa on the attack here. Crap ball. But Luke Shaw does well. Cavani totally had a pass for Rashford on right and looked left to Shaw. That's not a mistake, just saying, says Alligator. When defending, McFred always solo press the ball and get passed around very easy, which is why we always seem so open. Watch it, says Twiz. Alanga on for Rashford and Van der Beek for Fred or McTominay, says Nick. Well, here is Rashford. He's got a bit of space. Good ball. Good ball to Cavani. Oh, he slipped. Lays it off to Bruno. Over the bar. That's the best thing Rashford's done in 3 months. It was actually a lovely ball into Cavani. He drifts to the right. It's a lovely ball from McTominay. And then Rashford. It's a lovely ball from Rashford to Cavani. To Cavani. And probably some of United's best play. That good from back to front. It was good. I think we've finished the second half better than we've played in large portions of this half. So encouraging. Philip, thank you very much for the Members Club. We are seeing moments of progress, especially in attack. A good start faded away midway, regroup, half-time, says Dan. We're definitely ending the half better. It'd be nice if we could get another one. Rashford's gone to the right-hand side here. The pass needs to go now to Delo. Too long again. Too long. Fred picks it up. Greenwood. Bruno. Shaw. Fred. Bruno. Switch it, Bruno. Mings does well. Target's just going to boot that clear. I'd like to have seen Rashford see the run of Delo there. There's Fletcher and Ranić. Remember, Darren Fletcher will decide whether Ranić keeps the job, but he's his assistant. Somebody was saying that earlier. It's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Darren Fletcher will decide whether Ranić keeps his job because he's technical director, so he actually will decide whether he gets the job. Well, we're nearly at half-time here now. We should get to half-time. Here's Rashford. Go on. Oh, he went for the shot. I don't know whether he can do anything else there. I think it was going in. McTominay shoots wide. Finished it really hard. Well. That was better. But Man United in the last 5 minutes have been the better side. I almost feel if we got the second goal, we could have put this game to bed. Rashford is on. Let's watch this back. Rashford's onside from the halfway line. See, I think the pass should go to Greenwood there. I think he should have put that to Greenwood. When it's a perfect, he's never going to score from here. I think he should have passed to Greenwood. When you see it from that angle, he has a pass to Greenwood, and I think Greenwood scores. Greedy again, I'm afraid. That's half time. I'm glad we saw the replay there because I didn't see. He's in down the right-hand side. He's got a simple pass across to Greenwood, and he doesn't take it. He holds on to it. Greed. Ronaldo is correct, says Ash G. And Rashford and Greenwood give us nothing, useless. Gary, I disagree with you. I think Greenwood does try to make things happen. I think Rashford there, the game's done. It's not a hard pass. He's literally 2 minutes ago played a really hard pass to Cavani on the edge of the box. 2 minutes later, he's running in down the right-hand side. He can slip Greenwood in for a tap-in. There they are walking off together. He should have played him in. Who's your man of the match so far? Well, let me talk to you about the half itself. I think United finished that half really, really well. The last 5 minutes, we looked like we were going to get the second goal. So applause to United for the last 5 minutes. I thought most players were playing really well in the last 5 minutes. The first 40 minutes, I felt it was quite an equal affair. And I think for probably 20 minutes of that, I thought Villa were on top. Quite an equal half. And I think these games that we've got this week, Villa tonight and Villa at the weekend, are going to be really difficult. If we come out of both these games with 2 wins, I'll be very impressed. I don't think Villa are a bad side at all. In fact, I think if they could finish better, it would be there. Could try moving Mason to striker and putting Donny in as a cam with Bruno and becoming a bit more narrow. I don't think there's any reason to make changes at half time, Ben, and I don't think he will make changes at half time. What is Fletcher seriously doing sat in between Ralph and an actual coach? Hate seeing it, says Ryan. And also, best thing Rashford has done, don't think it's a coincidence he's on the right-hand side. He always wants to be on his right. So he cuts in on the left, says Luke. And welcome to Members Club, Philip Lone. So look, let's talk about the fact that Fred's cross was delightful. I think yet again, we have seen McTominay and Fred. Let's talk about the midfield, because United's midfield has been the problem all season. Much more energy FC, says Danny Palmer. Let's talk about the midfield. I think defensively, McTominay and Fred are poor. I think Villa have run off them again, like Wolves did and every other team does. But what I have liked about McTominay and Fred this game is that they've got forward a lot. And I think, Fred's cross is delightful. McTominay's header is nice. McTominay's also had a couple of shots from the edge of the box. I think when they've got license to get forward, you can see what sort of players they are. But defensively, they're not good enough. We need a CDM. We've been on about it for bloody ages. If you buy a CDM and you play McTominay or Fred next to them, you've got a player that can get forward. Defensively, I think we've been okay. I think Deleu's been good. I think Shaw's been okay. Lindelof's looked a little bit shaky. He hasn't played for a couple of games, and Watkins nearly did, mug him off big time. But they've had chances, Villa. So I don't think we've been defensively amazing. But offensively, I think we grew into the game. The important thing is to create chances for Cavani, and Bruno did that. It's much better than the Wolves game. I think if we played like we did against Wolves, Villa would probably be winning 2-0. But we've been better. I think it was unrealistic to expect us to go from how bad we were against Wolves to being superb today. So I would take the progression as a positive. I think in the second half, we need to keep going like we did at the end of the first half. And we were the dominant team in the last 5 minutes of that half. Villa's bench doesn't look that good to me, so they might tire. And I think if you get the second goal, this game's over. So I think the next goal is really important. What I don't want to see is Villa get the next goal, because I think the potential is there for extra time, isn't it? Hi, Mark. Do you think Paulino could be a missing piece for the club, says Mr. Anderson? As far as I know, we're not looking at him. So, no. Greenwood had 2 chances in a row to score there. Rashford and McTominay both need to look up, says Ben. And I think Rashford is trying to pass to Greenwood. Bruno wants every part of the game, says Timothy. Look, Rashford may well have been trying to pass to Greenwood, but the pass was on 2 seconds earlier. We pressed well in the first half. We could have had several successful attacks if it wasn't for Rashford's poor decision-making on the left, says Viraj. And if this team had a team... I've done that one from MA. That seems to be hanging around a bit. Usual suspects not playing and losing the ball. No wonder our strikers struggle when no one wants to pass the ball to them, says Rob. Even Fellaini used to score goals, says Clayton. And there is some encouraging aspects in our pressing and attacking sequences. We need to learn to hold possession and break their counters, says GB. And if Big Ralph wants to use the 4-2-2 formation, maybe try Greenwood and Rashford up front and Sancho, Bruno behind, says Scott Derbyshire. I said this last season. I said this before we had Sancho and Ronaldo. I would say this if it was Liverpool. You can't have 2 wide players who are greedy and a striker, because the striker won't get any service. You can have Greenwood or you can have Rashford, but the other player needs to be a Sancho. You need a creative wide player, and then you can have an attacking wide player. The problem we have at the moment is that Greenwood and Rashford are both wide forwards. That's what they are. So Cavani very rarely gets across into the box. And we become very predictable because everybody knows that Greenwood and Rashford most of the time are going to try and get a shot off or something. So I don't think you can play both of them. But ultimately tonight, he probably has to, because Sancho's not fit. Unpopular opinion, given the freedom, McSauce is a better finisher than Rashford. Also today, Scott passing was good than Rashford, says Sheikh. I think Fred and McTominay, I'd probably give them a 6.5, maybe even a 7. Attacking wise, defensively, they've been run off too much. It just depends how you analyse the game. I think McTominay and Fred going forward have been a 7. I think defensively, they've been a 5.5. And the reason I say that is that Villa have ran off our midfield countless times. Every time Villa have attacked, they've looked like they're going to create something. So defensively, our midfield's not been very good. Offensively, they have been. I actually think I'd be intrigued to see and considering how bad we can be, I think if you're a neutral with nothing to do on a Monday night and you're watching that game, you've probably been quite entertained, because every time Villa attack, it looks like they're going to do something. And every time we attack, it looks like we're going to do something. So I think as a spectacle, I think the game's been pretty exciting compared to how we play normally. This is it. Rashford should pass now, and he takes an extra touch. He takes an extra touch. He should have passed the first time. Philip, thank you very much for the super chat. Still levels to go up, Mark, but we're seeing a bit more Geegan, says his story. Liverpool are in trouble with the EFL, says Vabath. I don't know what's going on there. Can you say thanks, Baldy Guy from McDonald's, says Stephen Fitzpatrick. And Kunal, thank you very much for your super chat there. So, look, I actually, for the first time in a long time, would not make any changes at half-time. If Fred doesn't lose the ball, McTominay does, says MB Pete. And McTominay is average going forward, but he's always missing in defence. Speak on Greenwood, he's been really bad. Mason Greenwood's 20 years of age, learning a position that wasn't his position. I would say that. I don't think I'd give Greenwood a 6. I'd give Rashford a 5. So I think one of them has been worse than the other. But we just got to get them to be creative. McFred, particularly McTominay, have been told to pass it to the wingers when they get the ball. It's clearly tactical. It's nothing creative from them, says Big Jeff. And but at least they're doing their job. The pressing looked better in the last 15 minutes. Players look to be putting a shift in. Let's hope things get better from here, says Legion. You can play Rashford and Greenwood if the striker isn't greedy like Cavani. It doesn't make any sense. And I get your point about our wide forwards, but isn't that what Mane and Salah are at Liverpool? They're just better players, which is what we need. No, James, I'm not having that, I'm afraid. You make a good point on what your wide players should do. Mane and Salah are wide forwards. They score goals, but they pass. They do. They know when to pass and they know when to shoot. Mane and Salah are very creative players as well. So I don't think you can, Greenwood and Rashford are not Mane and Salah. And you don't really see Salah picking up the ball on the left-hand side or the right-hand side with 4 players in front of him, cutting inside from 30 yards and shooting. Salah doesn't score goals from outside the box much. It's back to 4-2-3-1 and it's not 4-2-2, but our midfield is our bottleneck. We need someone who can control the tempo of the game like Keenan Scholes, says Pranoff. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the channel. We're currently on 251,000 subscribers, heading towards 251,500. Please subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. You're all really, really welcome. So subscribe and get involved. Obviously, transfer news every morning. Every time the camera switches to the bench, Fletcher is saying something to the manager, says Mustafa. And SK says 4-3-3 and Sancho and Donny on the wings to provide for the striker, says SK. I mean, I'm not sure Donny van der Beek's a winger. I'm not convinced about that one, to be honest with you. But maybe some of you think he is. For me, he's not that. But I think Sancho has to play. Rashford has world-class potential, but his football IQ is 0. So many first-touch passes he could make. Look, he just needs to be told to pass and move. Pass and move. Simplify your game. Whenever I used to play football or whenever I've coached football or whenever I've listened to a good coach, when you're in a bad vein of form, whether you're a striker or a defender, welcome to Members Club, Mark Stafford. One of the age-old things they tell you is simplify your game. Stop forcing it. Get back to basics. And then, your game will grow from there. And I think that's what United need to do. And I think that's what Rashford needs to do. Nick says on hashtag TUS opinion on Twitter, you can get yours on the screen by doing that. That Rashford's been a bit selfish. I still feel like we can kill a team off our given day as we're not clinical enough, says Singh. Now we know why Ronaldo is not getting goals, says Shaz and Andeep. And Van der Beek on for Fred, 4-3-3 and dominate the game, says MV Pete. Rashford's decision-making is heartbreaking, says Ina. And Mark, don't you think it's ironic Ralph talks about control, which he potentially doesn't have in the dressing room, says Kunai. I think in relation to the second half, sorry, I'm about to show you my pajamas. In relation to the second half, as I stretch, the most important thing is we get the second goal. Get the second goal in the second half, and this game is over. But I think it's going to be a very, very, very competitive second half because there's no reason to suggest that Aston Villa won't keep creating chances. So the next goal is going to be key. I wouldn't make any changes at the moment. I don't actually think he'll make any changes before 70 minutes because I look at that bench. The most experienced attacking options are Lingard and Donny, and I don't think he would bring them on into a game like this. He may not make any subs at all. I don't feel he's going to want to make substitutions in this game, but maybe I'll be wrong on that. And a lot of people are saying, well, why would you not take Rashford off? But who's he going to bring on for Rashford? I mean, I'd like to think Elanga, but I don't think he would throw Elanga into this sort of a game. But we will see. We will see. Which way do I think it's going to go? I'm going to stick to my original opinion prediction from the preview and what me and Levin said before the game as well. I think it's going to be a tight win for Manchester United. Ahmad is on the bench. Again, I just don't think he'd throw him into it. I think Ranić knows he needs a performance tonight, and I think he will stick with experience. Yeah. Liverpool are under investigation. I don't know what that's all about. Let's see if we can get you a headline on that. I mean, we always like to hear about our rivals being in trouble, as I'm sure they do with us. But I don't know what this is all about with Liverpool. I can't see anything headlined. So if anyone wants to let us know, we're all eager beavers waiting to know. Okay, so some comments by Klopp apparently, and the game against Arsenal last week being cancelled. Liverpool lied about the number of people that had COVID, says Alfred III. Okay, well, this is speculation at the moment. We'll see what happens. Don't compare a player in his prime to a player coming into his prime. Compare 24-year-old Salah to Rashford now, says J Light. What you do? What? Why have you wasted £4.50 to talk to us about that? What are you talking about? The internet wins. Thank you very much. I don't actually understand what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. Why are we comparing 24-year-old Salah to Marcus Rashford? What's that got to do with anything? Would it be a ridiculous suggestion to loan out Rashford to a club? It is ridiculous, Reverse Clouds. Man United, I don't think United will ever sell Rashford. We just need to get him back playing well. And that's coaching. As I said, if I'm coaching Marcus Rashford and he's got to listen, I'd say, Marcus, do you want to score more goals? Yeah. When you get the ball, get rid of it. Stop holding on to it. Stop trying to skip past players. Let's just for this 45 minutes have a 2-second rule. When you get the ball, get rid of it within the first 2 seconds. Unless you're running through on goal, fine. If you've got space in front of you, run into it. If you haven't got space in front of you, let's get rid of it within the first 2 seconds. But when you've got rid of it, make a move. Because the person you give the ball to might be able to flick you in and get you in one-on-one. Why do we have strikers as wingers, wing-backs that can't play? The worst midfield pair, Maguire. How do we put this team together? We are winning, Darth. I don't know why people are so negative. We are winning this game, and I thought we ended the first half very well. So I don't feel the need for doom and gloom. It's much better than Wolves. It's not perfect, but it is much better. Good day, Mark. Just getting off work. Did the system change, or are we playing a 4-2-2? Tactically, how we fared, says K-Flow. I think it's a very similar way to the way we played against Wolves. I mean, a lot of people saying it's a 4-2-3-1, but I think Cavani and Bruno have been dropping in, and I think they've been very close as well. Philip, thank you very much for the super chat. Victor Lindelof is a catastrophic defender. Time and time again, he makes serious defensive errors. Yeah, I think Maguire's coming straight back into this team, Brad. Playing with width suits the team much better. I love United playing with width, Tim. I love it. Anyway, the players are coming back out. They're just going to have a little bit of a warm-up on the side, and then we'll be back up for the second half. Cavani's been poor, says Max. Has he been poor, or has he been isolated? You know, he had one chance that Bruno fed to him. It was good play by Bruno. It was a good shot, and it was a good save. What else has Cavani had to do? I'm not disagreeing that he's been poor, but is he poor because he's having a bad game? Because he's putting a shift in, and he's won the ball back a couple of times. Or is he having a bad game because he's not getting the service? Mark, what does Mike Phelan actually do? Can just imagine him sat on the floor eating a chip butty while Ranić is trying to give a team talk. This is the infiltrator. And could we play 4-2-3-1 with Shaw, Varane, Lindelof, Delon in the back, Jones and Van der Beek as DM? Jones is a DM? Andreas, what are you on about? Anyway, we're about to kick off the second half. Thanks for all the super chats and the chats. Who is better, Silver City or Bruno, says Harley Spencer? Well, Bernardo Silva's having a better season. We've just kicked off here, 3 seconds in. I might just suck on a Strepsil second half. Oh, some hot water coming out. Oh, thank you very much. Did you train all right?
Okay.
Is train all right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Player ratings will be coming out in the second half. I didn't answer who would be my man of the half for Man United. It's an interesting one because I actually think Fred and McTominay did well going forward, but defensively weren't so good. I think I'd probably... I don't know who I'd give it to. Delo was okay. Varane's been okay. I mean, would you just give it to McTominay for scoring a goal? But I don't think defensively McTominay and Fred were good. I think there's been a lot of sixes, but not many eights, you know? So I wouldn't give a man of the match so far. Hopefully somebody will come through. We have a club and the fans' favourite players, mark and managers are caught up in the fiasco, says Jazz. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the second half. I quite enjoyed the first half as a game. Luke Shaw's been good, says Eamon. De Gea did make a good save. Yeah, I think Luke Shaw's played well. I thought Delo played well as well. I think Bruno's been okay. I don't think there's a bad... I think the only two that I'd be worried about are Lindelof and Rashford. Here we go. Bruno's made the run. Cavani, that's the ball. Rashford, attack the penalty spot. That's the ball. That's the great ball by Bruno. And he's given a corner as well. Good run by Rashford there. Attacks the penalty spot. Bruno puts the right cross in. Cavani plays the right pass. Bit more momentum again. A lovely cross by Bruno. Rashford probably could have attacked that a bit more, you know. Turn that down a bit, please. Thank you. Corner to United. I'd love us to get the second goal because I think if we get the second goal, we're through. Header away. Good ball by Delo. Go on, have a shot. Greenwood. Oh, straight to the keeper. Why am I getting stick for saying it was a lovely cross by Bruno? I mean, do people just let agenda cloud their issue? He gets the ball out wide. He puts a good cross into Rashford on the front post, and we win a corner from it. He's done his job. It's a good cross. How many times do we see those crosses from Wan-Bissaka or Rashford or Greenwood go for a bloody goal kick straight away? He's put a cross in. It's a good cross. Not every cross can lead to a goal. He puts the cross into the right area and we win a corner. Good ball by Rashford there as well. This is better by United. Good pressing. When we see Ranić Stala play, says IQ, I think that you were never going to get a scintillating Manchester United performance after such a shit performance, but there's definitely progression. And I would rather this progression be a slow burner than a light that goes out very quickly. It's not midfielders to blame, Mark. It's the width. We're playing out wingers, finding it hard to switch plays to the other side, says Jazz. Well, I think the encouraging thing is that the first couple of minutes of this half and the last 5 minutes of the last half, we've been the better team. You're gone, Jay Lights. Bye. And don't Rashford and Greenwood understand they're playing on the wings and not as strikers tonight, says Melps. Varane getting a lot of love in the chat. I think, actually, you know what? Varane could arguably be the best player on the pitch for United because he's not put a foot wrong. And here's a cross for Villa. That should be going for a goal kick. My, you're joking. You're bloody joking. He's not going to give that. We're playing like it's a foul. We're bloody playing musical statues at the back. That can't be a goal. Is the VAR in the FA Cup? I don't think there's any VAR in the FA Cup. Tell me there's VAR in the Cup. Gerrard's not celebrating. Is there any VAR in the Cup? Because it's 1-1 to Villa here. And it looks to me like it's a foul or an offside. Cross comes in. Well, he's not offside. And he's not offside. What are we doing at the back? There's no VAR and there's no bloody offside. What are we doing here? Oh, that's a shambles. Absolute shambles. What are we doing here? Nah, it's 1-1. Absolute crap. What are we doing at the back there? Jurassic Park defending again. Well, is there VAR or not? There is VAR. Okay, checking goal for possible offside. We might get away. There is VAR. We're back in it. We're back in it. VAR will save us. He's offside there. He's going to be offside. Swivel on it. Kiss that, Gerrard. You kiss your camera, you can kiss that. Kiss it. He's offside. Thank you very much. He's miles off. Told you. He's miles. Don't even look at it. He's miles offside. You can see he's miles offside. It's his stud. Don't be messing about. Offside. 100%. How long do they want to take on this? It's so obviously offside. Sack the VAR man for being a twat. Oh my God. They're checking it on the camera. Oh my God. Specsavers, sort it out. He's miles off. He's bloody miles off. This is a joke. He's absolutely miles off. He may as well be in Birmingham. What's going on here? Yeah, offside. Swivel on it. Kiss it, Gerrard. Kiss it. No touch from Watkins. Could be onside. It is. It is offside. It's offside. Yeah. Change it to 1-0. Yabba dabba do. We're back in it. We're back in front. Now wake up at the back. I can't believe they took so long to check this out. It's so obviously offside. There it is. Watkins flicks it to Ings, and we're lucky. It's bad defending. It's really bad defending, but it is offside, and that's the rules. And you know what? If you don't like it, get a new rule book. Oh, it's not offside. They've given it for the foul. Oh, bloody hell. Well, I wasn't even looking at the foul. Either way, United are in front. And that we need to take that as a wake-up sign because, to be honest, it's probably the sort of game where a draw might be a fair score, but it looked like it's a definite foul, says Comp, and that'll do for me. But wake-up call. The defending was crap from the goal, to be fair. We're a little bit lucky. What's going on here? Fred's on the floor. I don't know why. They think it's the foul that disallows it, Cavadi. Oh, McGinn. A lot of people like McGinn. He's just gone through Fred. Free flight to Brazil there. It's all kicking off a little bit, says Matthew. Well, you like a bit of physicality. I don't know how it's not offside, because to me it was 100% offside. You can see that Watkins stood to touch the ball and move it forward to McGinn, who's ahead of him. So I don't know why they couldn't just give the offside, but maybe it's the angle. I don't know. The reality is it shouldn't be a goal. Let's be honest, VAR has been good to us, United fans. Varchester United, says Carramore, says me, actually. As I said, Villa have played well. And it will be a difficult game. Well, I'm not even going to talk about Saturday. We're playing them in the league on Saturday at Villa Park. It's going to be a very, very difficult game. But this game's not over yet. We need to get the second goal. I'm not saying we deserve the second goal, but if we want to win this game, we need the second goal. Disgraceful decision. Never a foul. United are cheating, says 58 Go. Well, that's what VAR's for, to help United out when we're in trouble. No, VAR is there to check the rules of the game. If you don't like the rules of the game, make a complaint. I actually don't understand a lot of the rules of the game that they've made up in recent years, but foul before the offside, says Mustafa. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We've had 57 minutes here, but really we've had probably about 54 because they spent about 3 minutes on that. I think I don't know if we've got any non-United Villa fans watching, but I actually think it's been a decent game. And I think this Ramsey guy in the midfield for Villa has really took the piss out of Fred and McTominay at times as well. I like the way he's a talented player, isn't he? He likes to run at people. I think Villa have got a good player going on there. McTominay's in a bit of trouble there, but gets the block in. Good player, isn't he? That Ramsey for Villa. I like the way he picks the ball up and runs with it from the midfield. I mean, this is what I wanted Pogba to do when we bought him. I love a midfielder. So it was almost like Gaza-esque, who gets the ball in the mid. Zidane, who can get the ball in the midfield and run. Very rare skill to have, but a very good skill to have. Well done, Fred. Good cross, good stop, De Gea. This is turning into a proper cup game. Some good tackles going in. We need a Keane in the middle to crunch someone and get a crowd going, says Sean Turner. I actually think it has been a good game. And it's probably been very predictable that it would be this sort of a game. You know, United not playing particularly well coming into the game. They need to respond. Villa, very confident. And it's led to what is a very equal game. Although Villa, I would say, in the last 5 minutes are having, the game seems to be ebbing and flowing a little bit. But some of Villa's football's been lovely. If he's onside here, that is a goal. Or is it offside? Ah, get on. Get on that flag and swivel on it. Offside. 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 Oh, you got to feel sorry for Villa a little bit, really. They played some good stuff. He is offside, though. Offside's offside. Lindelof's just gone down injured here. We haven't got a centre-back on the bench. My anxiety levels go down when Maguire don't play, says IGC. Rashford seems to be still short of confidence, says Jazz. If it's 2 Premier teams, then there is VAR. If it's a lower league team, then no. Elitism, Flexer 47. Lindelof's down injured here. Tellez is warming up. which means probably no, he's not going to come off on though. Could put Scooby Doo at centre back. We need a second goal here, even if it's on the break. We need a second goal because Villa are pushing us back a little bit. It's not referee FC. That goal there was offside, and the one before that was a foul and offside. It's a little bit unlucky on Villa because obviously they're very close to scoring, but it's not a goal. Well done, Delo. Ralph, do a sub, says Ryan. We need to get hold of the midfield. I just tweeted it there. Villa in the last 10 minutes have really dominated our midfield. They're running off it all the time. Oh, my God. McTominay, don't do that. He's got it. Don't worry. He's got it. Sign Ramsey for United Stand FC, says Adam. Good player. Good player. I mean, look. Take away the names, Manchester United and Aston Villa, and forget that. If you were watching these two teams and I told you that Coutinho, Digne, and thereafter Basuma were going to Villa, you'd say they've got a better future than ours. I tell you, it's going to be a very difficult game on Saturday at the Villa Park. It's a good ball. I don't think he'll get there, though, Matty Cash has given us the free kick. Good. Thomas says Rashford's terrible, destroys the team pressure by not marking close, running blindly into Villa defenders, and in general have a bad attitude. The offside rule didn't do Lindelof any favours there, says Chris. Villa are playing better than us at the moment, but the score remains 1-0 to United. Let's cling on to that. I just had my whole home room watch the first half to end the day. 34 viewers rushed home for the second half. I've earned this victory. Daniel Luciano, well done. Villa have figured out our game plan. First half, we kept going wide. Now they're keeping the fullback wide and holding position. Need to reorganise, says Andrew. Have you seen Rashford presses for the sake of pressing with absolutely no intensity, says Ravit. I think Rashford can get that back. You know, he did used to put a really good shift in. And I think he stopped it because of his shoulder injury. And he just needs to get back to being used to it again. Well done, Varane. Well done, Rashford. Good ball, Fred. And Villa, though. Oh, that's a centre-back running into the box. Fucking hell, gets a shot off as well. Just ran past Cavani and McTominay. Sub, says John. I do think the midfield's tiring. I'll tell you what, if Raheem Sterling went to Villa, that would be a bloody good signing. I don't know. Does he not get picked by Pep anymore? Look, I don't think United have been lucky. I think Villa have been the better team in the second half, but the goals are offside. There's half an hour to go. You know, if Villa keep playing like this, the goal will come. It's for United to respond to that. Another bad pass out from here. Well done, Fred, for the slide tackle, but we can't keep... Oh, look, you're going to get booked for that, Fred. Going to book you for that, mate. It's your bad touch, mate, in the first place. Mark, every Premier League team is entitled to VAR, even if they play lower league. I support Plymouth, and we have Chelsea in the next round, says Tom Stevens. Will, thanks very much for your super chat. We need to buy a midfielder. Well done, Cavani. Oh, it's a good tackle. Go on, Cavani. That's it. Good work by Cavani there. Strength. Go on, Rashford. Find a pass. Oh, he's not giving the foul. I thought it was a foul on Rashford there. Look how deep Cavani's playing now, though. He's almost a bloody midfielder. There's nobody up front. There's nobody even in their half. Ooh, good tackle by Rashford. I was a bit worried there. If you miss that tackle, you're in trouble. He actually did time it well. I got into trouble. Mate. D says Lindelof's been terrible. I said it straight after half time. I think Lindelof and Rashford have been the two players that worried me from the first half. And I don't think Lindelof has played that well. But a lot of people like Lindelof. But I don't think he has played that well. Maybe he's just rusty. But Villa are giving a lot this game. Might bode well for Saturday. They can't do this intensity again on Saturday, says Jonathan. Well, I bet they can. It's nearly a week. It's 5 days away. They want the ball more, Villa. Played so. I've got to say, I'm almost standing up and clapping Villa. They've been so good. Matty Cash here. Oh, good shot, just wide. Is that a save by De Gea, or is it a deflection? Mark Milenkovic-Savic is linked with United. Is he? Thoughts? I didn't know he was. It's another bloody good save by De Gea, this. Bloody hell. I'd say De Gea's man of the match now because we've done sod all in the second half. Matty Cash is starting to have more of an influence on this game. Whose job is it to track the right back? Easy catch for De Gea. Good throw out by De Gea. Come on the break, FC. That's shit by Fred. They're just so good. I'm going to have to write these notes down for the match reaction. Oh, Luke Shaw, you're going to get booked for that, mate. Hi, Mark. Captain Obvious just called and told me we need a midfielder, says Sean Finity. Don't forget Lindelof just recovered from COVID. Yes, I said that, Pepe. He's probably a little bit rusty. Referee FC, polish up Howard Webb's bold head and swivel on it, says Joshua Bellwater. And Mark, okay. I'm not going to say Villa deserve to get something out of this game. We need to get something out of this game. Oh, it's too easy. It's too easy all the time. It's just too easy. Fred is winded and needs to come off, says Poochie. Delow. Fouls Targay. Back to the Wolves' performances. So much for all social media pissed about being focused. Ralph, individual and collective, Ranić needs to change something, says Pranav. 37% possession this half at home, not good enough, says Sean Turner. Is that true? Okay, now I'll have a look in a minute. Oh, Villa have dominated this half. I mean, the only thing is that the half's flying by. No, it's we've had 37% possession for the whole game, mate. 63% possession to Villa. No, that can't be right. That must be second half. There's been way more shots than that. BBC are having a bloody nightmare, to be honest. Villa on the attack again. It's been the story of the half. It's really defence against attack. Matty Cash, cross comes in. Lindelof, edge of the box. Watkins shoots. Oh, just wide. Bloody hell. Curled it just wide. Ollie was better than this. Is a shame. Can we talk about the football Villa was playing at the start of the season compared to now, says Jack? Oh, they've been massively impressive. I haven't actually watched Villa a lot since Gerrard came to the club. I've just been checking on, match of the day and scores. It's very clear, but you didn't need to watch them to know that they must be doing something right, because they've not been stuffed by Man City. They've not been stuffed by Liverpool. They've been pushing everybody really hard. They're a well-organised, confident, progressive passing side. They're another team on the up. And we can't keep getting top four. We can't. We've seen us not get top four with Mourinho and Van Gaal. So you don't get top four just because you're Man United. You've got to earn the right. And at the moment, there's just so many teams better than us. We're begging for a midfielder, and we have one who never gets game time, says Ari. How shit do we have to play for Donny to get a few minutes? McTominay is cleverly 2.0. Well, he's coming on now. And he's coming on for Cavani. Okay, now. What's that all about? Feast your eyes on this. I don't know. Greenwood goes up front, maybe. But Donny's gone into the midfield. I think we've gone 4-2-2, haven't we? Oh, what we're doing here? 4-3-3. Bruno up front, false 9. Yeah, Donny's is Greenwood. Greedy. He should have slipped in Delo and Van der Beek. I tell you what, that's something I'm just going to have to underline. Pure greed is killing us. It's just too fucking greedy. Bruno looks like a false 9 to me, says Sean Turner. What do they do in training? No triangles, no pass and move, no line breaking runs. Well, I think that the thing is, Andre O'Brien, is that when you contrast it with Villa, who just want to pass and move, there's too many United players who want to hold on to the ball. Well, Donny must be grinning. Oh, we're onside here from a throw-in. Look at Rashford. Greenwood, is he going to pass? No. He's not. Fucking hell. Oh, that was a gift. I'd have to see that back again. I don't know how we ended up in that position. I suppose Villa have got to go for it, so we might be able to catch them on the break. But it's almost like the chance we had before at the end of the first half, where surely the pass has got to be the first priority. Bruno, nice ball out to Greenwood. Come on. Bruno. Tries to play Rashford in. Luke Shaw. Rashford, come on. That's a nice ball into Bruno by... he's offside. Is he offside? Who was offside there? It can't be Bruno. Rashford. Oh, fucking hell. How are you getting yourself offside when you're looking down the line? This is it. It was a throw-in, basically. Oh, it's a lovely ball by Bruno. Lovely ball by Bruno. Gets Greenwood in. I think Bruno's had a good game when he's had the ball. It's not as easy to find Rashford for Greenwood there. He's never looking to find him. And to be fair, he's got his head down to shoot. But Greenwood needs to be dropped to learn no greed. Hey, come on. I don't think Greenwood's been anywhere near as greedy as certain other players. But we've got two wide players who don't want to pass. Is Rashford coming off? No. It looked like he was coming off there. Doesn't look happy. Doesn't look happy, Rashford, does he? They're really panned in on him in the camera there. His head's down. He doesn't look happy. Does not look happy. He looks very fed up. Genuinely, who coaches our passing? It's abysmal. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, Mason and Rashford have no football intelligence and their players should kick the greed out of them in training, says Karamu. Rashford has given up. He has to be dropped. Pointless being there. Cavani would have had that, says Jonathan Matthews. I think Varane's played well. I think De Gea's played well. I think Luke Shaw's been good. I think Delot's been good. Here we go, Rashford. Oh, it gets stuck under his foot. Mings. Donny. If we can just get this goal, we're having a little bit of, for the first time in the half, we're having a little bit of play here. If we can just get the goal, this is over. Greenwood. Oh, cross comes in. Right, be careful. I think Villa are having to go for it a little bit with 73 minutes. Oh, I don't want extra time. Crowd unhappy with Rashford not getting the rebounds, says IQ. I didn't really watch that enough to see. He just doesn't look at the races, Rashford, does he? Here's McGinn. Cross comes in. Varane will clear that. Get Rashford in the reserve, says Jack Brown. We just need to slow this game down now. There's 15 minutes to go. Villa have had a right old go at us. They've not got the goal maybe they deserve. 15 minutes to go. They're going to get a little bit more desperate. Let's just game manage this. Which Man United players do you actually like, says Base? Bruno. I mean, I like them all. But as footballers, Greenwood, Bruno, I like Luke Shaw, Varane, De Gea, Cavani, Ronaldo. I mean, I do like Rashford and I do like Martial, but I can't be blind to the fact that they're not, Martial's going to leave, isn't he? I think Varane's been good. I think De Gea's been good again. I actually think Bruno has been a lot better than he has been recently. I think some of his passing's been good. I mean, I think the fullbacks have been okay. I think the fullbacks have had. I mean, the thing I'm going to write this down as well. The fullbacks have defended well, but we've not got them forward at all. Like you can't overlap when you've got wide players that don't want to pass to you. So again, I think it becomes a very obvious. I mean, I'm going to talk about it in the match reaction, but it's a very obvious graveyard shift, isn't it? When you've got. Where's the service going to come from? Cavani's best chance comes from Bruno in the first half, but that's always going to be the case, isn't it? It's the only person that can. Another substitution here for Villa. But I'll be over the moon if we can get through, because Middlesbrough to come in the next round. If we get through, would be a lot easier than playing Villa. Links in the video description to do your player ratings. You might want to get in early with that. Links in the video description. Mark every player out a 10, 6 being the average. Varane again reading the pass. Rashford giving it away. I tell you what, it's really been a bad performance. I hope he can score the second goal or something, because Bruno to Fred. Fred's the ball. Lovely ball. Oh, you'll keep it in, Fred. Keep running. Don't give up. Don't give up, Fred. I think you might have won a corner there. Think Rashford has peaked, overplayed, too young, thinks he's made it, rather sell him than Martial, says Jonathan. Mason Greenwood is responsible for so many missed opportunities. He's selfish, says Garab. Is there penalties, says Yoda, only after extra time. Dylan, thank you very much for the comment there. Starting Rashford and Greenwood on the wings today, showing why we need Sancho playing more. That's from NK. I hate to say this, but these players don't care, Mark. They're getting a new manager in the summer, and they attitude has set it. Stephen Atkinson. Corner to United here. Well done. Bruno. Headed away. Imagine the mental fortitude it takes for Donny to come on here with the right attitude, knowing that no matter how good he plays, he won't get a starting spot in the team afterwards. And Rashford's shoulder injury isn't the only problem with his shoulder. He thinks he has to carry the world on his shoulder. He thinks the world revolves around him, says Jazz. Keeper's got that. Into the last 10 minutes now. Yeah, player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. We'll go through that on the match reaction show straight after this. I've taken a few notes about what predominantly will be learning points, I suppose. I think if you played this game 10 times, we wouldn't win it. We've not been the better team, but we may be grinding out a good result here. But we're going to have to play a lot better against at their place on Saturday, because if they play anything like this with a home crowd, they'll beat us. It was Martial. He'd be called all sorts of things. Surely Rashford is part of the clique. Body language says enough. Blink twice if it's Rashi, says Boiled. I will blink twice because people blink. The cross comes in. Oh, I've got to tell you what. I thought they were going to score there. It was a free header. I tell you what, Luke Shaw's deserves double time for tonight. He's really had to work hard, Luke Shaw, against Matty Cash, who's the right back. It's got to switch on here. There's only 8 minutes of normal time to go. Right, Donny, have a look. Greenwood. Switch it, Greenwood. There's a lovely ball on. Oh, he didn't look at it. Rashford was free. There's Bruno. Yeah, that's it. Just keep the ball a little bit. All our attacks end at Rashford. Donny should be grabbing this game. He's had no impact. You've got to have the ball to grab the game, Pranav. If you want an attacking midfielder to grab the game, you've got to have the ball a lot in their half. Shoot, Scott, shoot. Here's Bruno. No, I didn't want to put the cross in. Dean says it doesn't look like Rashford wants to be there. Shoot, Luke, shoot. Here's Rashford. Oh, no, at least he put the cross in. Well done, Varane. Varane's not put a foot wrong tonight. For me, I think Varane might be my man of the match. I mean, De Gea's made a couple of good saves, but I just don't think Varane's put a foot wrong. I really don't. I think we've missed Sancho tonight. I mean, I'm not saying that Sancho by any means has hit the ground running at United, but to have a wide player that you know is going to pass, I think would have helped us a lot today. Nice to have Varane back. Well done, Donny. Shane says that's his job. Yeah, but you know what? So many people don't do their job. We're going to make a double substitution here. I think Bruno's coming off for Lingard. They better not bloody equalise, Ralph. You know this can go to extra time. So Bruno comes off for Lingard and giving the captaincy to David. And Alanga's going to probably come on for Rashford, I would say. Sad to see our man of the match is the one that makes the least mistakes instead of the one that impacts the most. And Rashford does come off for Alanga. Doesn't look very happy, does he? I think that's Ramsey for Villa coming off. Played well. He's well for them. I'm definitely apprehensive about this trip to Villa on Saturday. I think it's going to be a very difficult game. He does not look happy, Rashford, at all. He does not. I don't know. Well, maybe he's not happy with his performance, which is what you want to see. But I've not seen Rashford like that before. Looks gutted. Oh, they've won a corner here, Villa. Fred looks knackered, doesn't he? Again, the absence of a midfielder that he doesn't want to play Matic because he knows he's got to. I mean, look, whatever you think about McTominay and Fred, and I don't think they've played very well today. The goal was good, but I don't think they've played well. Second half, they've been the same old McTominay and Fred. But I think I probably would have McTominay over Matic on Saturday. I think that the reality is that Matic away from home worries me a lot. There's a Villa player gone down in the box here, Konza. I don't know what he's on about. Calm your tits down here. Don't be pushing for some penalty. Let's have a look. Konza on the back post. Comes in with Luke Shaw. That's never a penalty. It's never a penalty. He does catch him, but it's not a penalty. That would be the softest penalty of the century if they gave that. Although he's caught him in the nose. There's blood, but nah, it's not. It's not there. Joy, can you hear me? Do. The redirect's not working on mine. Could you try it on yours? I've made it public, but it won't redirect. The option's not there to do. What? Bloody hell, they've given McTominay man of the match. Bloody hell. Is that just for scoring a goal? Oh my God. Midfield gets overrun. Weird. Well, that's not going to help us, is it? Yeah, pin it in the chat. That's bloody annoying, that is. Got you? Okay, I'll do it. We're approaching the 90th minute anyway. I don't know why I get mad about man of the matches from TV pundits because they're absolutely shit. I think it's an absolute disgrace that they've given Scott McTominay the man of the match. But then again, all my life, even when I was a kid, they always give it to the goal scorer. I think what happens is these pundits think idiots watch football games when actually most of you know more than they do. So I find it really annoying when they just go with a lazy, oh, it's 1-0, let's give it to the goal scorer who scored the one goal. Like 6 minutes added on here. Someone said VAR should get man of the match. All right, calm down. Yeah, Delo's a good shout, Jordy says. I'm just going to put the match reaction link It's pinned in the live chat. We'll be on there straight after this. Player ratings link is in the video description. So you've got a lot of links there. But I don't know. I'm quite calm that I think we'll get this over. I think Villa have huffed and puffed, but I don't think they've got anything left anymore. I hope not. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. I just don't know why that redirect thing's not working. It's really annoying. McTominay is suspended for Saturday, Mark, says Dylan. Yeah, no, mate. Yeah. No discipline in the team and no passion, says Tone. Look, for me, the main thing is winning. Here's Lingard. Will he pass? Yes. Football intelligence there from Jesse. Gets it back. It's Greenwood. He'll shoot. He'll definitely shoot. He shoots. He shoots. Four minutes to go. Villa on the attack here. Remember this, we could be looking at extra time here. No, he's gone for a goal kick. Well, Gerrard won't like losing this, but I like Gerrard losing this. Into the cup, fourth round we go. Home tie against Borough, where, look, with all due respect to Borough, we are massive favourites for that. Matty Cash has impressed me a lot, says Reese. He's a good player, Matty Cash. Can you call me a brat, says DJ. And Bruno Rashford far worse than McTominay and Fred. I don't mind having an open conversation about football with people, but I don't really want to talk about agenda. I think if you spoke to 100 people about Bruno's performance today, most people would say it was above average. I can't believe you would say that Bruno's been anywhere near as bad as Rashford when I can think of about 8 passes Bruno put Greenwood in. Bruno put Cavani in. He put Rashford in and across. Like, he's nowhere near been as bad as Rashford. I don't know what you're talking about. Van der Beek being physical, says Sean Finity. We love VAR, says Rena. Only thing Greenwood developed is greed, says Matthias. McTominay suspended, still man of the match, says Andy Cheatham. Well, that won't have anything to do with the price of bread, will it? There's a Langer. Wins a corner. I think we're home and hosed here anyway. Look, it's all about winning the game. Villa probably been the better side, but that doesn't win you the game. We've won the game. And it's certainly been better than Wolves. But I think the only thing we learned from this game is that there's still a lot of work to do. I wouldn't say it was the bounce back that we expected. I think at times it's been pretty poor, but definitely better than the Wolves game. And I think it's going to be a very difficult game on Saturday. You'd expect Harry Maguire to walk back into this team. Cristiano Ronaldo as well. But the problem that they're going to have, if you're Cristiano Ronaldo or Edison Cavani, is where's the creativity? I mean, the only person who looks like he's going to feed the attacker is Bruno. We desperately need Sancho in this system. But lots of United fans singing there. It's a cup game and we're in the next round of the draw. I think there may be trouble ahead, but It's a cup game, and we're into the next round. Yeah, I agree with AJW. I don't know how McTominay's got man of the match when he basically got subbed off at half time. I mean, him and Fred have hardly touched the ball second half. Just boot it out, Fred, and we're through. Just boot it out, Varane, and we're through. He's going to blow. He's going to blow. And he blows. Blow, she goes. United through. Villa out. Take the victory and move on. I don't know how Scott McTominay's got man of the match. He even shakes his head there. He did nothing in the second half. And how he's got man of the match is a disgrace from the BBC. Really, you can get, you know what? Can I just say to whoever gave him man of the match on the BBC, you can still get man of the match if you lose a game of football. I thought Ramsey in the midfield for Villa was superb. I thought McGinn was good. I don't know how. This used to happen when I was a child, giving man of the match to somebody because they scored the goal in the game. I just think it's appalling. Keep football on BT and Sky Sports because BBC don't deserve it. Unbelievable. Dion Dublin did it. Oh, God. Well, that says everything. Absolute shit. Stick to Holmes Under the Hammer or whatever else he does because football ain't for him. Bloody ridiculous. And he's been paid to watch that game. Awful. Awful. But, result, fantastic. Manchester United winning the game. Middlesbrough in the next round. So I'd expect us to progress. 5th round. We needed the result. And absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. So really, really, really good performance. And yeah, magnificent. Has Rashford played so awful in the last minute on the first half? Okay, thank you very much. Link in the video description. Player ratings. Get involved in that. And mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I can't push you over to the match reaction today. There's something wrong. But the link is pinned in the chat. So I'll be live on there in a minute. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll see you over on the match reaction very, very soon. And I'll try one more time to see if it'll work. I don't think it will. No, it's not working. Okay, you'll have to go through the homepage or through the pinned chat. I'll see you on the match reaction in a minute. Lots to talk about, especially the Rashford issue. That, to me, is the eye-opener tonight. He doesn't look happy. He really doesn't look happy.